Hello, friends. This is Critical Mess, the podcast where three honorable men talk about the movies the critics and audiences do not agree on, like tonight's film, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. I'm Nick Honeywell. I'm here with my friends Grizz Griswold, Brian MC Cullen, producer Ben. Say hello, gents.
Hello, gang.
Happy New Year, fellas. And I'm excited to talk about a sports movie tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a sports movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's break that ice. This one, I like this one. This is a fun one. So here we go. What's a film that you deeply regret not seeing in the theater?
So when I was like 14, I saw a trailer for a movie. I don't remember what movie I was seeing, probably Mortal Kombat or some bullshit. But there was a trailer, and it was this weird, crazy trailer. I was like, what? And then on the screen right afterwards, it said, Starship Troopers. And we all laughed. Me and all my teenage buddies laughed. We were like, what the heck is this, like, comedy? Like, what? Anyway, only later in my adult life did I realize how good of a movie it is. And I really regret not seeing it in the theater.
Wow.
Theater.
Well, with an older brother and a bunch of older cousins, they all got to go see and sneak into Terminator 2 back in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And I was so jealous. And that is one that I was very upset that I did not.
Wouldn't you have
go
been
see.
like 4?
I was like 9, 8.
Okay.
So it came out in what, 7?
I guess that's old enough to be mad about.
So
Going to
Yeah,
see
because
Terminator.
like
I was about 10.
I would have
10.
loved to have seen that in the theater,
Yeah.
but when that came out, I didn't. It wasn't on my. I was watching The
fully
Little
aware.
Mermaid, so
I was fully aware because
I don't feel like I missed that one because I don't think I even ever had a chance to see it. But
Yeah.
it would have been awesome to see
Yeah.
that in the theater.
Yep, for sure.
So I've got my honorable mention is, I feel like this has been the answer to several of my icebreaker questions. Gladiator. I love Gladiator.
You didn't see it in the theater?
Did not see it in the
Oh,
theater.
wow.
Isn't that a big
mistake.
That's a big mistake.
Were you
It was
like
a huge
were you like a
mistake.
foreign exchange student in another country for
I
that year?
don't know. No, I had other priorities.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Okay.
I'm glad you straightened your life out.
I totally did. I'm fine. I'm clean now. Things are good. Yeah, but my real answer is going to be Jurassic Park. I did not get to see that in the theater. I would have been. I mean, I was young but old enough to know. My friends were seeing it. And damn, just never saw it.
Yeah, that's top 2 movie theater experiences for me. Yeah, number 2.
All great.
Grizz has a special social media announcement.
I do.
criticalmasspodcast.com. Check it out.
Okay.
Wow. That's
You're welcome.
succinct.
Check it out.
Next, we go to the feedback corner. Anyone have any feedback tonight?
Oh, I forgot to think about this, but I was just at an event with a bunch of people, and I remember being at the same event a year ago when the podcast was still back in like the teens to 20s episodes. It was still newer than it is now. And I remember talking about it to all of them, and they were like, yeah, I've been listening. And the cool thing is, like, now a year, some of them I haven't even seen for like maybe once over the past year. And it's cool that they still listen and like really listen to where they like know all the gags and stuff. And I'm like, wow, you get like, it's been a year. It just made me feel like, our listeners are loyal.
Yeah, the only shout I can give is my son Crosby has nonstop talked about this because I told him I gave him a shout out in the last episode, and he is very excited about the release to that show.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I still don't know how I feel about your 11-year-old son listening to me on this podcast.
It's so good.
He's very
It's so
precocious.
good.
He's mature.
He's a very old soul.
I think
old
he
soul.
has mature
Yeah.
taste, and I think because based on a lot of the like movies and
Yes.
shows you say he likes, he has very mature taste for his age. So
Yes, for sure.
That's
He's
it's
a big
cool.
He loves the 80s and 90s films. So
Good for him.
I love it.
Plus, I cut out most of my jokes, so
That
he
does
should be
help.
okay.
That
He
does
should be
help
okay.
a lot.
So I guess that just leaves the sock
talk.
moment, and we're back to home field tonight. As usual, the icon is facing the right way. It's just the air pinning. God, fucking cord.
The air
Fucking cord.
Oh boy.
Thank you.
I got you. I got you.
Jeez.
Sorry,
Home field,
producer Ben is not on this.
not quite matching, but hey, we're shouting out home field. We even got home field hoodie on tonight.
Guys,
Home field. I mean,
Home field shirts.
home field is
Home
just
field
is the
shirt.
true sponsor of this show.
Yeah.
And we just want to say we are
Thank you,
grateful
Home Field.
to you.
Thank you.
Home Field, visit their MySpace page at homefield.myspace.net.
Homefieldapparel.com.
actually, just go to homefieldapparel.com.
That's what Ben just said.
I know.
Yeah.
But we're going to cut him saying it. We're going to keep you saying it. We don't want to hear Ben say it.
Now we got to cut out all your saying it.
Shit. All right, gentlemen.
That went better than I thought.
So tonight, yes, we're talking about the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. And I frankly forgot to write down what year this came out. So I put 1992. I believe that's when Home Alone 2 came out. What year did this come out, guys? Anybody know?
2006.
This came in 2006, the year I graduated high school.
Yes, that's right. The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
On the other side of the world, on the wrong side of the law, a new style of racing rules the Tokyo underground.
How you guys get away with this?
And all the best drivers want in.
Who's a tourist?
Let's see what the kids got.
Then let's race.
But when you live on the edge, anything can happen.
You came to the wrong place.
Now, in a place where life moves this fast,
That's a lot of money.
Hey, you're moving up in the world. You gotta elevate your company.
the bigger the risk, the greater the rush.
Almost over now.
Life's simple. Make choices. Don't look back.
The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
So The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. 85 mil to make this one. So took down 159. So you assume it probably made money, but not really a runaway success. Enough, I guess, to keep the franchise going, but that's not a huge win there. This one is directed by Justin Lin, fairly well accomplished director who's done many Fast and Furious movies. I think would we say 4 or 5 of those, I believe.
Yep.
He also did the Star Trek Beyond movie.
He did the movie that kind of killed the Star Trek.
Fun fact, he got a
Reboot.
call in January to help shoot and write the script for that. And I want to say they started shooting that film like 5 months later. So mad respect for somebody that wants to turn out a movie
That's
quick.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who is in Tokyo Drift? Well, you've got Bow Wow. Well, you gotta say it like Snoop Dogg. Bow Wow.
Bow wow.
Is that how it said?
Bow wow.
Bow wow.
The inflection goes up on the wow. Bow Wow.
Bow wow.
Yeah. You've also got Lucas Black, Sung Kang, Brian T, Nathalie Kelley, Sonny Chiba. I love that name, Sonny Chiba.
Sonny Chiba.
That is just what a badass.
That is definitely a strain.
It's
a strain.
whatever it is.
I've got some of that upstairs.
Yeah. Brian Goodman, and you've even got Zachary Ty Bryan in this one.
You just said the word Brian for 3 different people, and I got to say, they
of
must have
Bryans.
all been born in the 80s.
Yeah,
A lot of Bryans.
Yep, that tracks. Just a quick refresher about the criteria for the movies you talk about on this show. So, got to be fresh with audiences or rotten with critics, or vice versa on Rotten Tomatoes, and the disparity has got to be 20% or so. So, on Rotten Tomatoes, Tokyo Drift is at 38% with critics and 69% with audiences.
Nice.
So we've got some disagreement here on this one.
Yep.
This is Critical Mass. We are sponsored. We are sponsored tonight. A special sponsor tonight. A Christmas a New Year sponsor. A sponsor for the new year.
Ooh,
right?
Yeah.
What do we got?
This is our special New Year's welcome to 2025 Old Elk double wheat.
Got the double wheat.
It's not
Wheat.
It's not 107 proof.
And there's actually 2 H's in wheat, right? In the
Wheat.
bottle.
It goes HWH.
Yeah.
And as we know, Old Elk is crazy with their precision.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. It's 107.1 proof. Okay.
1.
So we're getting towards infinity blend levels of precision here.
Mm-hmm.
And that 0.1 really
It's the difference.
gives the finish.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I haven't had it yet.
They're calculating this with a T9.
That smells way smoother than a 107.1. Let's just see.
Mhm.
This has become like Brian tastes.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, please.
We're
No,
waiting.
what am I doing?
Sell it.
We're
Sell it, man.
highly
Sell it.
anticipating this.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like no bite at all on that. That's like super. It's buttery.
Would you say?
Of course it's buttery.
Well, how about? Would you say maybe it's magic?
Let me see.
A lot of dead air right
Oh yeah,
Yeah, magical.
it's magical.
Okay.
Okay. And also, we also like to call it peerless.
Ooh,
It's always
peerless.
peerless. You know what else is peerless for keeping you hydrated? Modelo.
Boom.
We like Modelo.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thanks, Modelo.
Let's rate the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
I'm gonna go last.
All All right, I'm gonna go first.
Okay, go first.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
I'm giving it a 76.
Ooh.
Hot film.
Hot film.
Yes.
Hot film.
Hot film.
So hyped right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hot film.
Yep. We liked this one. We had a lot of fun with this one. It's
Yep.
fast. It's furious. I
Mhm.
believe that's what it's called. So as advertised, and it's fun, and it ticks the right boxes for me.
All the boxes.
Like it.
Okay. Since Brian, you're going last, right?
I'm gonna go last.
Okay. All right. You ready for this? Okay. I'm at an 83.
Holy!
So hyped about this movie. I've always loved it. It came out the year I graduated high school, and it was just so much fun. It's so much excitement.
It's almost like the eight's like a little racetrack. Like if you did, was that a thing
like
there?
It was
little
me
drift.
trying to get a little tire movement in there.
That's awesome.
You know?
Oh, okay.
I like it.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the marker drifting around the board.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
The way you
Nice.
wrote that number is definitely a lot better than the film. So I think my kind of hot take, not hot take, but my consensus, I guess, if you will, on this is, to me, it's a very one-dimensional film. Not a lot of nuance or subtlety, which that's fine. I watched this movie when it first came out as a 24-year-old or whatever I was. And I really feel like this time around, I went down and I tried to meet the movie at its level and watch it for what it was. And, I know it's not trying to be some kind of, super highbrow film or whatever. But that being said, it was very one-dimensional. I think there was a lot of lazy writing in the movie. And an unignorably high level of unrealism took me out of it.
What?
And I'd say that it's kind of a shiny racing sports movie with an empty shell. It's shiny garbage. Very shiny indeed. It's what inspired me and a whole generation of people to go out and get fun cars. You can see I didn't know how to spell shiny, so there's no E in shiny, but you can see that because I exited out. So yeah, shiny garbage. It's a 35 for me. I'm going to give it a 35. It is in the high end of my bad movie score. So definitely not a good movie.
So
Okay.
sad.
Well, we have some disagreement in the room.
I did enjoy it. I definitely enjoyed it for sure.
Okay.
I mean, if you didn't enjoy it, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah. How did
Have
that
you
just-
listened to a
wait,
word I've said on this
wait,
podcast?
What
over
is
the last, six-
where
It's
is it? Where's the low
Part
end?
of being American is just liking Tokyo Drift.
Where's the low end of your enjoyable? 40?
40? Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's.
Just want to.
I mean, I enjoyed parts of it. Let me
Okay. Yes,
clarify.
that's what I'm wondering.
I enjoyed parts of the movie, and I never at one point thought to myself, I'm just wasting my time. But I just the entire time my thoughts were, wow, like it's just not good. Not a good
Okay.
movie.
All right. Respect it.
So we don't agree. Critics and audiences don't agree. That's what the whole fucking podcast is about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know what?
That's why we're here.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's a mess. I mean, it's a mess in the room. It's a mess critically, and I think we can really sum this one up. Some of the time we go deeper on the movies, and we're thinking, wow, let's dig into this, and there's kind of complexities. But no, this one it's fucking fast cars and guys like it. I mean, we could kind of end the podcast there, but we'll read some actual words that some professional movie raters
Let's hear it.
said about it. Eye-popping driving sequences. Hang on. I almost couldn't even read those two words. I think there we go. Hey, eye-popping driving sequences coupled with a limp story and flat performances make this Drift a disappointing follow-up to previous Fast and Furious installments. Peter Travers, Rolling Stone. Look out for a star cameo. It's the only surprise you'll get from this heap. Did anything surprise you in this movie?
Yes, I think there was one good twist, and that's all I really need for a goofy little movie like this.
Was it the mob stuff?
No,
Wasn't the Han stuff either?
it was Han dying.
Okay.
Yes. Mad respect for killing off a main character.
I like that. And that's in my flipped script. And I'll go back a little bit and say I felt surprised when I learned that Han was stealing from the mob.
Yeah,
When he was
also a
actually-
good turn.
And to me, that was the bigger
Yeah.
twist than him dying. But
Yeah.
but
Oh,
all
okay.
kind of one and the same because
Yeah.
he sort of died because of that. So it was all kind of wrapped together.
So, yeah, sure.
That was the one part of the movie where I was like, oh, we're going deeper. There's something beyond just shiny cars racing fast. So it was kind of a breath of fresh air. Okay, good. So you were surprised by that. Yeah. How about Peter Bradshaw, The Guardian? The only drift you'll experience is the one towards sleep. Was it boring?
Boo. Bad writing.
Shit.
What are you booing that? Is you saying it wasn't boring?
That's just a stupid joke.
Well, I mean, all the
I'm
critics,
drifting to sleep. Good
Yeah.
one, man. Good one. Good one.
Almost
Let's
all
hear
the
another. What's the next one? Give us another one.
Next.
You don't want to talk about like it, so it's not boring. I mean,
No, hell no.
No.
There's lots of high octane racing in this
Yeah,
film.
tons.
but okay, yeah. I was bored for a lot of it because it's like, oh, they're racing. Like that's not compelling to me. So I guess maybe
Not a
I'm alone there.
sportsman.
Not a sportsman.
Well, I need characters being developed and
there's
and
such-
unexpected
What?
turns happening. I don't just need explosions in my face. Explosions are boring unless there's a meaning behind why the explosion's happening. A car race is boring unless it makes sense for them to be racing, which a lot of the races in this didn't. So that's why I just was curious. I had a feeling you'd say it wasn't boring, but he said it was boring. I thought it was boring.
There's not that many explosions in this movie.
I used explosions as an example.
Yeah,
Car chase in
high
this
octane,
one. Explosion. All it is eye candy, something that like grabs your animal brain.
Like in Venom, when the Venom and what's his name fought.
Fighting on a
you're
high
like,
place.
fighting
That's
on a high
exactly
place.
right.
Why?
Fighting on a high place is boring to me. Even though there's a million things happening on the screen, it's boring to me because nothing's being revealed and there's nothing engaging my actual brain. So
Okay.
anyway, I know you guys wanted me to move on, but I wrote that one on here for a reason because, okay, you think the pun was dumb. Yeah, sure. But he was basically saying it was boring. So that's why I wanted to bring that up. Sounds like you guys did not think it was boring.
I forgot one thing that is, I believe, critical in this critical mess. Ben, can you give us your rating for this film?
Yeah, I gave it a 63.
63.
So
63.
I
Okay.
enjoyed it. I thought it was very fun and entertaining. It's not. I've watched the whole franchise, so I kind
Same.
of based it off of that. And like,
Yeah.
This one's not one of my favorites, but it's good. Like
Yeah.
I enjoy
Okay.
it.
Okay, so yeah, sorry, that's important.
Yeah,
It is
Important
important.
context.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Scott Tobias, AV Club. The racing sequences are the series' meat and potatoes, but in terms of story, Tokyo Drift barely offers a stalk of asparagus. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know you probably want me to move on, and that was a stupid joke.
Boo.
But the question is, was the story compelling to you? Was the story compelling?
I thought the story was enough. It was enough. It wasn't great, but it was enough.
It served exactly what it needed to do in this fun, I don't want to use the word high octane, but just excitement.
You
of the
better
film.
not, or else you get booed out of the room.
I already used it once, I think.
But I think it was perfectly placed.
You like the story?
Yeah.
Do you know what the story? What can you just give me a brief rundown of what the story is?
Yeah, problem child gets shipped off to Tokyo to live with Pappy, the
Exiled.
the-
He's
or the-
exiled
the
to
Marine.
Tokyo.
And he becomes
just-
a mafia debt collector.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's part of it, and then
Uh-huh.
he bonds with everyone through racing in cars,
Family.
Okay.
and then
Family.
there's a love interest and a bad guy.
Compelling. Not compelling to me, but that's a story. You're right. Matt Singer, Village
Well, he
Voice.
did say it was serviceable.
he said
He
we're-
didn't say that it was.
Yeah, I never said it was great.
He said we're right.
And I didn't say it didn't have a story, but I
Yeah.
just needed to know what's the general story here. Matt Singer, Village Voice. Tokyo Drift is a subculture in search of a compelling storyline, and Black's leaden performance makes you pine for the days of Paul Walker. So my question is, did the cart come before the horse here? In that, do you think that there's this whole subculture, of the Tokyo drifting and the the JDM scene and all the Veilside car custom stuff that exists, and then there's this franchise that exists, and then they go, all right, we have this thing, now let's build a movie around it. Did you feel at all like that was the case, or did you feel like it really was like movie first and then sort of subculture second?
Having watched a lot of Justin Lin, the director's like background and discussion on this film, I think he did give a rat's ass about like the culture of Japan and like how to talk about it and how to blend the whole American Japanese thing. So I don't know. I feel like it was well respected and it was well placed in this film.
Yeah.
The reason I hesitate on that is just because they didn't make like a tractor racing one, and like they didn't go through all the sub genres of racing and then make a movie about it based off of Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
That's the only pushback on that.
But and I feel like, to me, that actually strengthens my point in that you can literally look at a genre and this movie is that genre. This is the movie for that one. Now, the fact that they didn't do it for the other ones actually speaks more highly of the other ones, because maybe they're about more than just a specific subculture. But I think that maybe, and I get what you're saying, but to me that speaks more to the point that, yeah, this one is specifically for that subculture. I mean, it's even in the title. So, Nick, do you have any thoughts on that? Or
Yeah, I also pine for the days of Paul Walker. I yearn for those days.
Yeah.
you and
R.I.P.
everyone else?
Yep.
Yeah.
Richard Roper, Ebert and Roper. The whole thing is preposterous. The acting is so awful. Some of the worst performances I've seen in a long, long time. How are the performances?
Oh, just rough.
Yeah, they're pretty atrocious. I think the performances are rough, but I also believe that a lot of them are directly to camera. So I can't discount that. I think they were trying to have fun. They were trying to wink at the camera. And
well,
so
Bow Wow literally winked at the camera.
There's that. Yes, there is that.
That
so
took
I think,
at least 10 points off the movie for me.
Oh, that added 5 for me. We were going to talk about that.
Exactly.
I think
that. The entire cast
You're not serious.
knew how much fun.
I'm going to show you my notebook where it says +5 under Bow Wow winking at the camera. I'll show it to you when we get there.
But I give a lot of credit. I think it was joking at it. I think it was playing on itself. And I think it was joking at itself how absurd this movie is. But it's fun. It's exciting. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually thought Bow Wow's performance. He was. I expected when I rewatched it, I'm like, oh no, Bow Wow's going to be. He was great. He was like, other than the wink, which wasn't his fault. Yeah. He was told to do that.
Yeah.
I was like, I like him. He was sympathetic. He cared. You know, I cared about him when he was getting beat up. I was like, oh, go help him out. You know, and I actually didn't have a problem. I liked DK. He was a great villain. I loved his like just super cocky, like over the top stare down, almost making out with Sean, you know. And then I even didn't mind Sean. I thought Sean, Lucas Black, I thought he, with his North Carolina, you know, accent or whatever it was, you know, to talk like that, you know, and I was like, that's fine. You know, he's fine. Sure, he's being compared with Paul Walker and all these other people. Poor guy.
The acting for me was the worst.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. I'll put it on the flip the script.
I'm not elevating it for acting, but it's no worse than any of the other Fast and Furious. As a matter of fact, it was better than I was expecting on rewatch. I don't know if Han was good because I never saw him not eating. So I don't.
It's just the most endearing.
All right, we got some fun facts
beautiful
about that.
Part.
We got some fun facts.
Yeah,
about that.
I liked it too, but they went over the top with it because I know if
I was just hoping it would be even more egregious.
Somebody snacking is like kind of like the first thing you do to make them seem like cool and nonchalant. I mean, that's why Brad Pitt's always snacking. And they did it here, and I'm like, that's cool in the first scene, but then like the next scene and the next scene and like every single fucking scene he's snacking on something. I'm like, that's enough. Last one, David Germain, Associated Press. The thin story and thinner characters are just setups for the race sequences, which are punctuated by lavish parties where the lithe women seem to outnumber the guys by a 5-to-1 ratio. And the reason I saved that for last is because, to me, the dumbest thing about this movie, and there's a lot of dumb things about the movie, the dumbest thing about this movie is that it thinks that chicks like cars. And they don't.
What?
Guys like cars.
Were you in Tokyo in 2006?
Chicks don't like cars.
I think they did in Tokyo in 2006.
The same amount of chicks like cars that like the NFL. Yes, they exist, but the NFL is for guys. Cars are for guys. Loud, fast cars only show off to other guys. You don't see girls snapping their head going, whoa, that was a loud ass car going by. That turns me on.
I mean,
and I'll tell you this: if you disagree with me, you're objectively wrong, and I will go find you.
I'm going to objectify because you want to ask my father how my mother met him in the 70s.
And you can go anecdotally all you want. You can pick one
That's
person.
A literal.
You can pick one person that you know, but I will tell you, generally speaking, girls don't give a shit about fast, loud cars. If you want, I'll do a poll, and I'll come back to you with those
maybe
results.
Not if you drive it.
You'll find 5% or 10%.
But you know what? You know what girls?
Is this racing? Are we going to race?
You know what girls do like? Money. And you know what guys with money buy? Cool fast cars.
Exactly.
Cool fast cars.
But the girls don't give a shit about the car. I'll tell you that right now.
You know what?
That's like one of the first things you need to learn in life.
I spent 3 or 4 summers in Tokyo back in the early 2000s, and all I remember of the girls wanting to talk about was cars. So, I mean,
I don't think it was 5-to-1 ratio to guys though. Yeah. So anyway, I really like that because I feel like this movie thinks that the girls like the cars, and it's just a really dumb thing that kids think. You know, so yeah, that's your critics. Critics are basically just panning the movie. None of them are saying it was the worst thing they've ever seen. Matter of fact, Roger Ebert actually had a favorable review.
What a like that guy,
man of the people.
Oh, you
really
like it? Oh, you happen to like him now because he.
No. I often side with Mr. Ebert. He loved Predator, and Siskel hated it.
Yeah. Predator was great.
It was like, come on.
Ebert had some good takes.
Ebert's like my favorite critic of all time, but yeah, he actually liked this one, but there was nothing interesting in his one-liner. I'm like reading the whole review. So how's our audience looking, Chris?
Audience was weirdly divided. A lot of high ratings, a lot of low ratings. So it was just one of those things that I think that's where we see a lot of trends.
And they're only at a 68, right?
Yeah, so it's one of those weird things that I
believe
found.
It was a 69.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or yeah,
But
69,
still,
68.
like that's like, there's going to be, it's not like 95 or whatever.
So Zach B, 5 out of 5. Despite being one of the most hated in the franchise, which I agree, it is very hated. The film delivers on everything from a compelling story to compelling characters, with its only weakness being perhaps slightly weaker acting than I would expect, which we talked about from a film of this magnitude. Definitely because of the Fast and the Furious timeline works, I would recommend watching this film when it's supposed to take place between Fast and Furious 6 and 7. I know this is a weird, awkward prequel to a lot of the other films that come later because they wanted to retcon bringing Han back later in the franchise.
Yeah.
Because he was well respected and a favorite in this film.
There was an uproar.
Did he say anything about why this movie's good? I may have missed it.
I may give it a 5 out of 5. That's why he liked it.
Okay, keep going.
This is a 3 out of 5 by Tyler K. More dumb fun with a Tokyo spin. 6 out of 10. Okay.
I get behind that.
This is the weirdest part because there's a lot of like 1 star, 1.5 stars, but Avish R. Worst movie in the franchise. And that's saying something because nearly all the movies suck except the first 2. That's hard to think because I feel like somewhere around 6, 7, they got really fun and really good films. 5, 6, 7, something like that. But 1 and 2 are definitely nowhere near how much fun this one is and how funny it is and enjoyable this is, and then how good of films 5, 6, 7 are.
And I think I probably read like 100 audience reviews on this one, and I found that was a very common theme.
Yeah.
I'd be reading the review, and then I'd be like, wait, this person didn't even fucking talk about this movie.
Yeah,
they just talked about the Fast and Furious franchise.
And I
Tell
think I know
me why the movie is a good movie.
And I think I know why, because the number of movies outweigh, there's 10 of these. So there's 9 other movies in accordance to this one. Mm-hmm. And the hardest part is this one was released. It was completely forgotten. I mean, no one gave a shit about this movie when it first came out, even after it came out. It wasn't until maybe a few years later or 5, 6 years later when the franchise started to kick back up that people were like, oh, we should go back and be like, oh, Han was a great character in this film. And I agree. And they all had a big campaign on social media to bring Han back. And so that literally changed the trajectory of this film franchise because so many fans loved Han's character in this movie. And they respected it enough to try to bring him back in the franchise.
Can't wait to talk about Han.
Yeah, I can't wait. 5 out of 5. Unknown. Best car movie that's out there. Guys, do we have any other best car movies out there?
Well, there are better ones than this.
There are far better ones than this.
A lot of the Fast and Furious movies.
I'll put one in the hat. Gone in 60 Seconds. Big fan favorite.
That's on our list. We might be doing that in a future episode, guys.
Yeah.
Car movies?
As a car guy?
I don't really like car movies.
Fucking Drive.
Yeah, Drive is by far the best. Yeah.
I mean, I'll go with The Undercover. I think for some reason I brought this up on a previous episode, but Ronin, the Robert De Niro film, has a couple of really good car chases.
I don't know if they're car movies, but I really liked Bullet and The French Connection both. I don't know if I call them car movies.
Classics.
They have classic car scenes in them, but I don't know if I'd call them a car movie.
How about,
right, like
they're both better than
Italian Job.
Let me
Italian
throw
Job, the original.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
76, yeah.
Let me throw out Cannonball Run.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, man.
I have
Pretty
seen
good movie.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Pretty
solid,
fun car movie.
It takes a lot to get me to care about a car movie, so but I'll check it out.
You might like Cannonball Run.
Okay.
Last but not least, Unknown again, 5 out of 5. Last movie of the franchise that actually deals with cars and their culture. Loved it. 10 out of 10.
I think that person is onto something.
Yep.
In that I feel like this movie cared more about the cars and the culture than it did the characters and the gimmicks and the action.
Yep.
That being said, I've already said what I thought about how that's a cheap. I don't think that a movie should be built around a subculture necessarily, but I will give him that. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like the rest of them.
I think it's hard because he was trying to do something different with 3 because 2 was so regarded as a just garbage film, and 1 was so favorited by just car people, but it still wasn't rated heavily.
Yeah.
So I think that's where he tried to do something wildly different, and I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've got just 3 here. One of them, this first one here, anonymous. An all right film, not the best. 5 out of 5.
Nice. Amazing.
Next, Akis In. And this is all in caps. Best movie ever. Feck those critic vaginas. 5 out of 5.
agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
And the last one. And this is this week's proof. The audience score is objectively more wrong than the critic score. Quentin K. I only rated it high because I like cars a lot. If you don't, skip this for sure. And I thought, so this person's love of cars is what caused him to critically evaluate a film highly. That'd be like me rating Showgirls a 10 out of 10. We're just going to leave that alone.
I mean, the level of sort of popcorn person you're going to have reviewing this film, it's not going to be like you got for like Gosford Park, right? It's going to be a little bit of a different demo, I think.
Good pull with Gosford Park.
Yeah.
Every demo should review a movie the correct way. But, you know, I agree with you. You're right. I'm not expecting the audience to be, you know, critics, but, you know, they're still the audience. They're popcorn people, to quote Katie.
And this,
shout out.
And this is Critical Mass.
Woo!
And next, we're going to flip the script.
I was in a trance.
Wow.
Beautiful. This is the segment where, you know, we give a good review. We talk about what we didn't like and vice versa. So I'll start like the movie. I already explained that.
Yep.
We already talked about the acting. It's hammy. It's bad. It's exaggerated. It's ridiculous. The accents. Oh my gosh. We'll talk about that more later. The CGI with the cars. Annoying. Man, this movie would have been so much better if they would have done all practical. I get that's just not in the budget, but if they would have, this movie would have been really fucking cool. They did not. And then we also covered this a little bit. Not a lot of interesting twists, almost none in this movie, but Han getting killed. Good one. But otherwise, pretty much A to B to C to D kind of story. So, yeah, that's about all I got.
I did not like the movie. I thought it was a bad movie. So I'll flip positive. The one thing that really enamored me with this movie was all the mob stuff. Now, I didn't think it was realistic. I thought there was a high level of unrealism, and that's separate. What I liked about it was the fact that you have this idea of Han and through DK through Han stealing from the mob, which is an interesting concept to me because you know the mafia or the mob or whatever, they're already earning their profits probably in nefarious ways, and so it's almost like a Robin Hood situation where like I'm going to steal from them, you know. And I thought that was interesting, and I thought that the movie didn't have to go there, and it was the one part of the movie where I was like, whoa, there's something beyond shiny, fast cars. This is like an actual thing. Cool. And then the stakes rose, and then you have death threats, and then you actually have deaths. And so to me, that was, I mean, you know, the father-son stuff was stupid. The entire beginning at high school was, you know, there's so much bad, but that was the part that really got me going.
Okay. Yeah. I think, like we've talked about already, the acting was pretty rough. I think that's the hardest part for me in this entire film because I'm obviously positive on this film. So going negative, the acting is, I mean, the dialogue is super cringe. I mean, it's hard to see a lot of these characters just give these super basic conversations back and forth. But again, I think like Nick and I have talked about, like you're going for a very specific reason. But I also look at the overall film that I think they are looking and laughing at themselves when it comes to this movie. So it's just purely out of enjoyment that they're doing this. I don't know if they did it on purpose or if they were truly trying to give the best performances by every one of these actors. But who was the best known actor in this film that you were like impressed by outside of
Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel or maybe
Sonny Chiba, baby.
Yeah.
So Zachary
you guys
Ty
know
Bryan
Sonny.
from
Yeah, I
Home
was like,
Improvement.
well,
yeah,
yeah.
when that's the greatest actor that you can name out of this whole film, it's pretty bad. But
I just want to say that the last sip I just took of that Old Elk double wheat, I almost felt like I went to like another dimension for a minute, like kind of like the fourth dimension, where it was just like it was feeling just it was peerless.
You know what happens when you sip a double wheat?
Something some magical,
let me-
something magical
let me-
happens.
let me see.
That's what happens.
what happens when you sip it?
Euphoric.
You become the Ambrosialist.
The Ambrosialist.
Ooh.
Thursday nights at 8 on CBS.
I thought it was on NBC.
Well, they got
bumped.
Yeah.
Coming this fall on Fox. Yeah, that's right. Okay. All right. Critical Mess. Now it's time for Marquee Mess.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
That's where we rename the film. I'll start. I just have a few tonight. Just a few tonight.
I got 4.
Same.
Yeah.
Here we go. First one, Teriyaki Boy, Eminem goes to Tokyo.
Yeah. That's the can you hit us with Teriyaki Boy real quick? Just
yeah.
I haven't heard it enough. Okay. Like it.
Vin Diesel's on PTO.
That's good.
Yeah.
Never Sunny in Tokyo, Japan.
You almost had some Vin Diesel, I'm thinking on GTO. Right.
Ooh, that's
Sorry.
good.
Okay. Hungry. The legend of the coolest, hungriest guy.
He is. He's always eating.
He's always hungry.
Too Fast, No Diesel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're all unleaded.
Had compensation engines.
What? Will you explain it?
Well, they got real loud, fast cars, and they must be compensating for something.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I needed that explanation.
I get
it now.
They got tiny boners.
I get it. I get it. We get it.
It's just an indictment on any guy that's got a loud, fast car or a huge truck. I just alienated maybe our biggest fan.
One of them.
He's got a huge truck.
Damn.
And I can attest.
He's
not compensating.
Whoa.
We're just going to leave that there.
I tried to leave it there, and you said, Brian, can you explain that? Everything's better.
That'll make everything back.
Everything's better.
Oh, Lord have mercy. All right. How about hand break yourself?
That's good. That's
Before
good.
you rake yourself.
Did we lose Vin's number?
I love the theme.
That's
I
a good
love
one.
your theme.
I
I love all the Vin Diesel. I got DKNY. Drift King's Nissan. Yeah.
Ooh.
Do you guys remember? I just want to throw this out because I was probably going to forget, but I don't know how much Mario Kart you played, especially Mario Kart Wii. But do you remember DK Mountain?
Yeah.
DK
Oh,
Mountain
yeah.
was like the
Yep.
best track in the game.
And he says, what does DK stand for?
it's
Donkey
DK's
Kong.
Mountain.
Donkey Kong.
But
yeah.
it also has a mountain in the movie.
Yeah.
DK's Mountain is where they
DK's
raced.
Mountain. They literally raced down DK's
Did
Mountain.
they do that on purpose?
I think so.
The Wii came out after this movie.
The Wii came out
Someone did.
in
There's
2005, 6. So yeah, right around this movie.
So, yeah.
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 It's well
I'm going to
played.
do some research.
Yeah,
I might
that
have to
can't
bump-
be a
I
coincidence.
might have to bump my score up 1 point.
DK Mountain. Yeah, I just have one diesel one. It's not very good. Out of diesel.
That's not good. You're
Well,
right.
there's no diesel in it. I think it's good because there's no diesel in the movie.
I feel like Grizz already made that joke so many times that if you would have led with that, it would have gotten a big laugh. But I feel like Grizz's ones have been kind of good.
Kind of good. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that all day.
Well, I was trying to soften the blow on Nick. I wasn't trying to.
I'm not a one-trick pony. Okay.
Oh, we know you're always the best at this. We're trying our hardest over here.
DK Mountain came out on a game called Mario Kart Double Dash, and
Wii.
is on GameCube. But first it was on GameCube.
Sure.
Well, and Wii on 2003.
Oh,
Ooh, I bet.
But the other way around?
I was thinking you were saying that they named DK Mountain off of this movie, but really
No,
Other
this-
way around.
No, he's saying the
okay,
other way around,
okay.
which I agree. I think
Yeah.
that probably was right. What do you got,
Never
Brian?
know.
my last one. Hans Kahn, the Don's Pawn, and Sean's Brawn. Oh, it's on.
Mm,
Ooh, that's great.
good
Thanks.
meter there.
That's really nice.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Ninth year senior.
Yeah.
Super
Oh
duper
God,
That's pretty. That's
you
pretty
guys,
good.
we need to talk about the ages of
pretty
the
good.
actors.
Yeah, so I got a couple of
And then
age
when they
ones.
kept saying that, he's like, he's a minor. I was
I'll
like,
keep.
what?
I'll keep going. We have
He
34
has
going
chest
on.
hair like a man.
Yeah.
I know that dude had chest hair like a 45-year-old.
Yeah.
That was
I'll do
crazy.
a couple more from the age range. 34 going on 17, and then fast drifting hairline.
Oh,
Yeah.
ouch! But hit him on the
Sorry, buddy.
hairline.
Yeah.
He's-
Ooh, low
His
blow.
head's so big, it's a sniper's wet dream. Like, it's so big.
I mean, he was 24, I think, when he did this movie, trying to play a 17-year-old. So
I've got
that's
all the
hard.
ages here for you.
Yeah. Or 23, 20.
Sean, so he was 24. Clay, who was the high school guy he raced at the beginning, was 25. Supposed to be in high school. DK, I know DK was supposed to be in high school. He was 29.
Oh, Jesus.
My God.
Neela, the girl, was 21.
Yeah.
Han was 34.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah, but
then-
he was older.
I guess
so
he
it's
wasn't
okay.
necessarily
Yeah,
high
yeah,
school.
I know,
He wasn't
high
high
school.
but still ridiculous.
Still. And then Isabella was 27. So like a lot of high schoolers all in their mid to late 20s. So
Interesting.
that's every movie though. I didn't dock points.
Right.
I'd actually rather them be older so that if they happen to be like hot, then it's like not creepy because it's actually a 20-something person.
Yeah.
I just have a couple more. High Lanes Drifter.
Nice.
I expected kind of a round of applause for that one.
By yourself.
Good answer. Good answer. Oh, he's got the sound.
So he's got it.
Yeah.
All right, that's too much. Bring
No,
it down.
just keep going.
Yeah.
There we go.
We're back. We're
All
back.
right, we're clear.
How about Hot Kamada?
Kamada.
Yeah, Mr. Kamada. He's your favorite
Oh
guy.
yeah, Kamada, the uncle.
Hot Kamada.
Whole lot of Kamada.
I said he was my favorite. Oh, the mob, because the mob stuff.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
My last one is Shift Show.
It's good.
Yeah.
I took a drink every time they shifted and barely finished the movie.
Yeah. And they let you know when they shifted too. It was
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. I like
triple
that.
shift. Yeah. Okay. Are we done?
Yep.
Cool.
Woo.
Yippee-ki-yay,
Oh,
motherfucker.
sorry. I was ready for.
Oh, yeah.
Could you just give me one of those though?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
We never played the finishing for.
Right.
So
That's what it was.
technically, we were already in it.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Ben.
No problem.
Okay. Tharks. No one likes this part.
Yeah, we don't even.
Well, the good thing is this movie didn't have shit.
Honor and
So we're
respect,
done?
family,
Are we
fitting
done?
in, cultures blending, coming of age,
And we're done.
all those things.
fish
Come
out
on.
of fish out of water.
blending.
Culture out of
for
water.
sure. Yeah.
Cool.
I had the biggest one by far was taking responsibility for your own actions. Now it was very on the nose, and they literally said the themes directly in the movie. He's like, "I got to clean up my I got to clean up my mess." Wait, how did he talk? How did he talk? He talked like this.
that.
I got to clean up my own mess.
he had
Daddy.
the-
Daddy.
Bias.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that pretty good.
Sounds like Forrest Gump.
Fun fact: Justin Lin, I guess when he signed on for this movie, I guess the studio hired a dialect coach to try to get rid of that Southern accent by the main actor, and he refused. He just fired the dialect coach because he loved the aspect of that for this film.
I don't mind it really. Now I can't quit it. Oh shit.
Can I remind you guys this is Tharks and we need to hurry the fuck up.
Yeah, so taking responsibility for your actions, finishing what you started, and Sean becomes mature and hardened as his arc. So we got a couple out of it. Yeah.
I forgot that was a part of it.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
Cool. That
Love
was
it.
pretty good.
Yeah,
Not
I
bad.
mean, more proof that this movie sucks. That it didn't have anything in the way of themes and arcs.
No, but people don't like Tharks, so I think it's good.
No,
Yeah.
that's bullshit.
Now we're going to a place with a song. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Brian's Corner. Been a long time. Well, it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Actually, it's been
About as long
the
as
exact
usual.
always amount of
Yeah.
time, but it's always too long. Glad to
Agree,
have everyone
agree.
here. We're going to keep it light tonight because the rest of the time I'm talking, I'm really angry. So we're going to keep it light. I just want to talk. Yeah, I'm not a car guy. You know, the cars are awesome. I like to go fast. I don't know anything about cars. I don't get excited when I see a car on screen more than just like anything else. But there have been moments that have completely enamored me in cinema history. And I just want to talk about like 5 real quick times that a car really had an impact on me in a movie. And I think that, like I said, it speaks a lot because I'm not a car guy, so there's probably all kind of car stuff in movies that I'm just unaware of. But I want to talk about these, and I want to see what scenes in movies have really pulled you in, whether it's a racing movie, a car chase, just an awesome car that someone drives in a movie, an interesting use of a car. Try to keep it cars here. I don't necessarily want to go Fast and Fury or Fury. What's it called? Mad Max with all the big trucks, or like the tank scene in GoldenEye, which is a freaking awesome scene.
So good.
We could really go there. We could go there if you want. Actually, no, it's my corner. So I want to start first of all the Born Identity Mini Cooper car scene. For some reason, that had such an effect on me.
Yep.
I don't know why. I think it's because it wasn't a very good car, but like it showcased the skills of
And just
Jason Bourne.
that Paul Greengrass kind of like just that really kinetic, like shaky camera, like flying around corner. It works
Yeah.
for a car chase. It sucks for like everything else.
Yeah.
For me, like a conversation, it's like you're just talking right now.
And I think, not to be pedantic, but I think Paul Greengrass did the sequels, but Doug Liman, I think, did the original. But Doug Liman is like, we just watched Roadhouse, the latest Roadhouse. Doug Liman commits that sin as well, I would say.
Sorry. Okay, fair enough. I
Paul
thought that was Paul Greengrass.
Paul
that did all-
Greengrass
okay,
more
never
so.
mind.
But
Never
the
mind.
original's Doug Liman, and the original has the Mini Cooper chase where the chick from Run Lola Run, what's her name in the movie, where she's like scared and he,
What is her name? Damn it.
I don't know.
Producer Ben?
We should know.
I got
it.
you.
Thank you.
Cool scene. Another one, The Rock. I just remember when there was a freaking Ferrari chasing a Hummer.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Through
what?
San Francisco
Through San
too, like so with the
Francisco?
hills and the so cool.
Yep. The movie The
Really
Rock,
cool.
not the actor.
Yeah, the movie The Rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that hit that, I loved it. Sean Connery, Nick Cage. I mean, come on. How much more iconic can something get?
Lola's name is Franca Potente.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I would have said.
Yep.
Oh,
Potente.
that's a German or something name.
Yeah.
Matrix Reloaded Highway Seat. We just talked about motorcycle chases last week, 2 weeks ago, and this is kind of the spiritual successor to that. But we talked about the motorcycle chasing in that, but I think even more so, just the entire highway sequence with the all the Cadillac CTS had just come out.
The Cadillac CTS.
And they had like the Escalade, and the twins were in it and stuff.
Yeah.
And just the way that they shot that on that, I think it was shot on an unopened, yet to be opened
Highway
sequence
system.
of highway in California, and then they CGI'd all the city and stuff. But really appreciated that one. Just stuck out. The cars really stuck out to me there. The Aston Martin in Casino Royale, not the original Casino Royale, but the one with Daniel Craig.
From 06.
I don't know why, but that Aston Martin just like did it for me.
Same year.
And then he
06.
flipped it. Like he barely even drove it, and he flipped it. It hurt. But yeah, same year. You're right.
Yeah.
Big car year.
Huge.
Last one for me, Drive. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. It's in my top 10 of all time. There's so the beginning sequence, he's in a car. I don't even remember what kind of car it is. But then later in the movie, he's got like a Nova or something.
No, in the beginning, it's like it's an Impala. It's like
it's an Impala.
It's a souped up Impala.
You can hear the way that engine sounds.
And remember, it's like silver.
Ooh.
He's like most common car in LA.
Yeah,
silver Impala.
Dude, I'm gonna watch it. I need to watch that movie.
I
again
do need to
very
rewatch
soon.
that. It's been
It's so
probably
rewatchable.
10 years since I watched it.
But then he has that awesome car later that he's driving, and it's more of like a muscle car, right? I don't know. All I know is, I was into the cars in that movie, and I feel like it's because they didn't go overboard with the cars.
Yeah.
There you go. That's my quick foray into these are the moments in my life where I don't hit that button yet, Ben.
I'm just getting ready.
Or you can hit the Teriyaki Boy if that's where you were going. Because we hadn't heard in a while. There we go. Okay. But don't hit the
way
Brian's
overdue
Corner.
for that.
Don't hit Brian's Corner yet because I want to throw it to you guys.
Yeah.
Give me, just talk about cars and movies as much or as little as you want.
Man. Okay. Bad Boys 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They both got just awesome car stuff going on.
Bad Boys 2 has the semi with all the stuff getting thrown off of the truck on the highway. Producer Ben just pointed to, I can't believe we haven't noticed yet, but the DeLorean on the table here.
From Back to the Future.
Yes.
Historic.
I mean, maybe the best usage of a car in a movie. Could we maybe go there?
Yeah.
Maybe the most iconic usage of a car in a movie?
Yeah, we can go there. I'd go there.
Yeah. I would say it.
Okay. Ben said it. I agree.
I mean, and while I'm at it, I'm just going to throw a shout out to my other favorite, just stupid early 2000s movie, Blade. Or wait, did that come out in 90? What year?
98, I thought.
Sorry. Okay.
98.
Well,
98.
close. 98.
98. Close.
Blade. That fucking Chevelle, man.
Yeah.
It's just ooh. That's like literally like I think that is like the car. Like if you could just say like Nick, like just pick a car. Just pick a car.
You pick that one.
If I said a
might
name,
take that black Chevelle from Blade.
if I just said a female name, would you guys recognize Eleanor?
Yeah, that's the Gone in 60 Seconds car. Yeah, hell yeah.
The Shelby Mustang GT500. I think that's like my dream car, and it's mostly pre that movie, but that movie just solidified it. That's like iconic. But you also Matrix Reloaded. I mean, that's like one of the greatest.
It's a long
chase
scene, too.
It's so long. It's got to be 15 minutes long.
It's a big chunk
of just
of time.
pure action and cars and all of it.
That badass Lincoln Continental in the first Matrix with the suicide doors in the rain.
Oh, yep.
Got it in, baby.
Thank you. Needed that.
I kind of wish I just had 3 like car guys sitting next to me who just like knew everything about cars, and I want to ask them one question: what is the car you'd want from any movie? I feel like they'd have an answer, and I'd be like, wow, that's cool. That's your answer. I don't.
Damn near the fucking car Vin Diesel's in.
Yeah.
Into this movie,
Yeah, what's he driving?
It's a Roadrunner. It's a Plymouth Roadrunner, like a 1970 probably like Plymouth Roadrunner. That's a bad motherfucker, right?
And it's cool because you've seen all these
Handles
like
like a boat.
like JDM cars the entire time, all these Nissans and Mazdas and Mitsubishis, and at the very end you see him next to one of them, and you're like, oh damn, like that's
that
badass.
American muscle. Yeah,
I gotta text my dad a picture of that car because that was his first. So
yeah, Roadrunners are Plymouth. We're getting into Hot Pocket on that.
Okay, good. And again, I don't know much about cars, but I will also say Dazed and Confused had a lot of really cars that I like. I was like, I want every car from Dazed and Confused. I don't even know if they're good, but they're just classic and they're neat and they're in the movie a lot. So cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
I'm glad no one mentioned the love bug.
Herbie? Barely know him.
All right, this is Critical Mess. We are sponsored by the Peerless, the Magical, the Unparalleled, Old Elk. Brian, could you do us a Vanna White?
Brian?
Can you?
Just a reveal the
I
door.
feel so bad for neglecting old standby, standard here.
We're on double wheat tonight.
I mean, we're on double wheat. We
But
have to
Happy New
focus.
Year, motherfuckers. We've got the 4 wheat, 107.1 WF34. I was trying to say a radio station, but I said numbers and letters.
Well,
Anyway, it's 107.1 proof. And I just feel like that sounds like a radio station, and I like it, and I'm going to have some more of it.
and they've packed so much wheat in there. It's great. It's double. It's
double
double,
the
the wheat,
Mm-hmm.
and it's double delicious, double delectable.
I mean, the more wheat you have, the more you can distill it, the more higher it can get.
yeah, you can find Brian on the Ambrosia list.
He's
8 p.m. NBC.
The Ambrosia list.
Okay.
streaming on Peacock.
All right. This is Critical Mess. It's time for hot pocket. Hot pocket. That's where we talk about random shit.
just, it could be anything. It could be bicycle
anything.
tires,
And we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna start,
It
guys.
has been.
We're gonna start. Oh wait, damn it! We need a hot pocket.
stuff from the movie,
Shit.
though, right?
Okay, pepperoni.
Or
We
just
always
anything.
start with the pepperoni. So let's just go with cars. I want to talk cars.
Okay.
Yeah, Brian, we almost got into it at the end of that last segment.
Is our in-house car guy.
Let's talk about cars. What is just the car? You know, what's the car for you guys? You know, what? Just any car under, you know, let's say $500,000. You can just get whatever.
I've already mentioned it, but Eleanor, the GT500 Mustang. I mean, that is just pure. It's beautiful, and I'm not a car guy. I don't know shit about cars. I
remember
change
that car being
oil.
beautiful, though.
I can do basic things with the cars, but I don't know shit about.
It's that back with that windshield, the fastback. You know,
it's the
got that-
fastback. Yeah, it's all those
And
things.
the color, wasn't it like a gray
It was
silverish color?
it was a dark gray with the black racing stripes down the front of the.
I need to watch it again.
it's
I mean,
so good.
Nick Cage, you know, I'll
But
watch it again.
that car for me, it's like I can respect. I'm a designer by day, so like I can respect the design aspects, like everything about cars, like the balance, the weight, like all those things, color. But I don't know. This movie just hit me on all those fronts when it came to how all the different types of cars and like the vibrance of them. It's so interesting. And the backdrop of Tokyo is just.
So I like the question, any car, like what's your car? Because it would go any direction with it. But real quick, I want to make sure, are we going to talk about specifically what your favorite car in this movie is? Are we going to talk about this movie's cars? We got a hot pot coming up for that?
No, we're talking really just any fast
car.
car.
We are going to, can we address that separately?
What's the best
now? What's the best car?
Let's do it now. Well, yeah, let's do it right now.
I don't
sure.
I want to answer your question first, but I just want to make sure that we also talk about this movie because I actually had a lot of thoughts about the cars in this movie. The car that does it for me, I have to say, I feel like I really like German cars. I really like Mercedes cars, Mercedes Benzes. I don't know even how to say that. That's how little of a car guy I am. But all I know is I watch Slow Benz. The YouTube videos. I just watched like 5 of them. And Nick, didn't you say the guy that does the squeeze bin stuff? Didn't you say he got in trouble with the law?
He's in big trouble. Yeah,
because he's got a video that came out like 3 weeks ago. Do you think he's just like releasing the videos?
No, I think is it maybe out on bond?
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Well, let's put it this way: the car, whatever car or cars he's driving in his real life YouTube videos where he's evading cops in New York, I don't condone this behavior. But I want the cars that he's
renting
those
a
are.
variety of luxury cars.
That's what I want. My car is a variety of luxury cars.
Wow. I was going to get really mad at you for a minute because later in the franchise, the 92 Mercedes S-Class is a minor character in this film. It's the car that crashes into Han and kills him.
Ooh, yeah.
It comes up later to retcon he's still alive, but the bad guy that owns that car destroys him. And he's a British man.
I'll just spoil it now. The car that gets wrecked, Han's car, it's my favorite car in this movie. So
Yep.
And Han's car is
It's a 97 Mazda RX-7 FD.
I knew that.
So
Did you know that?
I have it in my notes. I have all the cars on it. I actually did a deep dive on all the cars in the movie.
I mean, outside of the Mustang at the end, I think that's got to be the most beautiful car in this film.
So if we're talking cars from this movie,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who had it. I know someone had a Supra in there. I know someone had like a 94,
That's in the first one.
95.
I didn't see a Supra.
There's a Supra in this movie.
Okay.
I surely saw one.
Are you sure it wasn't the first Fast and the Furious movie?
I'm pretty sure. I don't think it was a main character that had it. It was
Okay.
like in the
So
garage
just like in the
somewhere.
garage.
I remember
Okay,
seeing
sure.
a Supra.
Yeah.
And those whatever mid-90s Supras are just, they're
Awesome.
kind of the car in terms
Yeah.
of those kinds of cars.
The new ones are great too.
Yeah, the Supers are cool, and they make it in a manual transmission, which
is really nice.
very much
There weren't really any
It's hard to find.
any
It
Toyotas
is.
on showcase here. It was all Nissans,
It mostly was.
Mazdas,
Yeah, Japanese
and
built.
Mitsubishis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, but I did see a Supra in the garage. If we're talking just cars, I mean that Roadrunner would be up there. I think the Barracudas honestly are maybe slightly above the Roadrunners in terms of Plymouth muscle, and I think Plymouth had the muscle, the best muscle. I obviously love the Dodge muscle as well, the Challengers and the Chargers, but the Barracuda is just ridiculous. But you know what car I feel like is just kind of the most boss car, kind of that is in the spirit of this movie, which I don't think was in this movie, but should have been in this movie, would be an Acura NSX.
I had a poster of a yellow NSX.
An early mid '90s NSX,
with the mid engine or whatever.
Yeah, like the Wolf drives in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like give me one of those. Like I'll take one of those probably over damn near anything.
I guess since we're talking about the cars in this movie, I'll also say I like DK's black Nissan. It was like a
360Z.
Oh, that thing was beautiful.
They're called Fair Ladies in Japan, but over stateside we called them something else. But yeah, his was cool. And I noticed like towards the end there was like a matte gloss. There was like a matte and a gloss like stencil work on the side of that car that I never even noticed until towards the end of the movie when it was like doing a spin out.
Yeah,
during that big chase, and I was like, "Wow, that's even cooler." But I just really like the body kit and everything on that. So yeah, I'd say that the RX-7 and the Nissan were.
There was something about that last scene. I don't know if they shot that day for night, night for day, or whatever it is, where you shoot it during the day and you kind of reverse it to be blacked out, and so it looked very similar to that. I don't know if I'd have to look back and see if that was actually done there. But something about the color and the contrast of that showed a lot more detail in those cars and stuff like that. It was cool. It was beautiful.
There was a Skyline in this movie too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The Skylines are obviously.
That was my favorite car from this movie.
That was Paul Walker's car
Paul Walker.
in the original.
In the original,
in the original, that was his original.
Here,
So I'm sure they probably snuck it in there.
Okay, that was a hefty pepperoni pizza.
We had to do the car talk.
We had to talk about
I had to get the car talk in, and now we'll just move to a 4 cheese.
Okay,
a simple 4 cheese. Well, gosh, this is not a simple 4 cheese. We're going to make this 5 cheese because we're going to just talk about this opening sequence. There's so much that goes on here. Starting with the first, you remember the first line of the film, guys?
No.
Nice ride. Nice ride. Delivered by that young blonde lady who's probably like 35. In the, kind of the wind sort of.
She's 22.
Blows her skirt.
Sort of blows her skirt up. It's kind of like I will say the women in this movie are very objectified.
Very much, yeah.
Prizes to be traded, won, and it's kind of weird. I feel like today might not fly quite as well. Anyways, okay, this opening scene with the guy from
Home Improvement.
Tim Taylor's son.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Brad from Home Improvement.
Brad. Right.
Number 13 quarterback.
I feel like Brad's been in some trouble. Like I feel like I saw him in like a Real World Police. But Brad was.
This was his last film.
Anyways, yeah, he's probably doing better.
Yeah.
I wonder what JTT's up to.
He's
not acting.
Life.
He
way
retired.
far away from acting.
Good.
Yeah.
What about that weird third kid, Mark?
No one remembers
kind of turned
him
goth
at all.
Was there a third kid?
Yeah, he like went through a goth phase like in the show, and I wondered if he like did in real life, and they were like, "Well, shit, we got to write it in."
Not just a phase, Mom.
It's a lifestyle.
He was weird.
So let's talk about this in this deep 5 cheese. Let's talk about this opening scene. First of all, I thought the opening scene, as ridiculous as it was, I thought it was just a lot of fun. Fun way to get into the movie.
Yep.
It starts with a race. I feel like, first of all, I love that they both were driving manual transmission vehicles, which I guess at that time would have been a little more common. But that's just, I appreciate that. But this scene, guys, what did you think of this scene? Did it get you into the movie? Did you feel like, and to be clear, it's kind of a race between Eminem and the high school bully from Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Where they're kind of vying for the love of the objectified woman.
Well, it's because of him. It's ironic that they actually ended up destroying a lot of homes. So that's.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Hey,
was that on purpose?
I worked on Marquee Mess. I spent like 10 minutes workshopping something there.
You found there's a bit of magic there.
We got a Home Improvement.
Thank you. I actually think they should have cut that entire. This movie should have started in Tokyo, and they would have been able to actually give a lot more backstory, or not backstory, because that's what that was doing. They could have sort of given a lot more screen time and writing to getting him into these situations with this Japanese culture, instead of him just waltzing right in, getting literally handed the keys, literally and figuratively, to the kingdom, and then just getting everything. I think that was lazy writing, and I feel like if they would have cut that first 15 minutes, he could have proven, because what happened is, as a result of that scene, is he proved to us, the audience, that he was a car guy, and that he kind of had a laissez-faire like view on life, and that he just kind of didn't care, and they set up his personality. It proved to all of us that. But then when he goes overseas to Tokyo and he starts fresh, none of those people knew anything about that. But then the movie assumed that they did know all that stuff about him just because we knew all that stuff about him. And if you really think about it, none of them would have known that he even knew anything about cars. So that was, I wish they could have just completely cut that out. Number two, second thought about that. Go ahead, Ben.
No, I was just saying, I wish they probably could have made that like a flashback.
Agreed. You totally could have like rolled some of that into a flashback, but maybe it's him expositing to other characters, and now you have the characters around him learning about him, which none of them ever learn anything about him other than what he does.
Yeah, it was a weird, clunky way to go from the Southern California, LA, like that weird West Coast, and I think that was just a weird segue to try to go from America to that. And I think that's all they were trying to do.
And none of that really had anything to do with the rest of the movie. I mean, sure, it was the setup,
it was for only the audience. I will agree with you there. It was only for the audience, but I actually loved that opening scene because it showed a lot of his character. It showed that he was like all into cars. He was willing to give everything for what he represented, what he cared about, racing, like being the better man, like especially in that scene where he's working in like the ITT Tech kind of high school style, where he brings the wrench.
Tech.
Yeah, what you know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
Lincoln Technical Institute.
Lincoln Tech, is that what it was? Yeah,
no, ITT Tech is one too.
Yeah, that's one.
Throwback.
But it was interesting that they kind of like threw that in where he like has the wrench moment where he sees that one kid get pulled into the paint room thinking he's going to get beat up.
The chubby kid getting spray painted.
So he goes in with the wrench in his hand thinking like he's going to be the better person and beat him up. But it was just like a harmless painting.
I mean, there was definitely good things in that scene, but I feel like they were in the wrong place. The other thing I thought was funny was, so Clay's girl, Clay is Brad from Home Improvement's
JTT's brother.
JTT's brother from Home Improvement's name, and this is Clay. And do you realize his girlfriend doesn't even like him? First of all, it was her idea to let her be the winner of the race, right? And then the entire race, she's actively rooting for the other guy and like throwing shade at him as he's driving her. I'm like,
can you imagine that being your girlfriend?
You don't even like him. Why are you with him? I also thought it was cute that his $80,000 Dodge Viper did 0 to 60 in like 4+ seconds.
4.3 seconds.
I was like, that's not very fast.
That was a long time ago.
Was it?
Sure, but 80,000.
Was it good for that time? 2006?
I mean, it was a different
Dodge
time.
Viper.
It was like 500 horsepower. Right?
500 horsepower, 4.3 seconds.
It's just funny because I remember like idolizing Dodge Vipers when I was
exhaust.
that age. And now my car goes way faster than that. Like, oh, I've really gotten there in life. That's the litmus test, is your 0 to 60. Those are my thoughts on that scene. I had a couple more. I like when he smiles and he's got the blood in his teeth. They kind of that gives away a little bit of his character. I like that scene.
That was fun.
Here's a little attention to detail. I remember when he like plows the porta potties, and it like splatters the camera with the blue porta potty stuff, and then a turd just comes flying out and splats the camera right before it cuts.
I didn't even notice that.
I totally missed it.
Or the slow motion, him flipping.
This is the level of detail I go to for you folks. I rewatched that like 35 times just to make sure.
Or when he's flipping over and over, and then there's like a Tabasco bottle.
I noticed that as well. I know that had to have been a product placement.
Well, I loved the slow mo when he's flipping his car in the first opening scene, and there's like the McFlurry in the background, and then the Tabasco pops in. Yeah. Oh, I loved it. But.
Okay, are we done with that?
Yeah, I gave my thoughts.
Good, cool.
Cut it.
What do you guys think is in the Supreme Pizza for the Hot Pocket?
Onions.
Onion is in there.
Green pepper.
Green pepper for sure.
Then you got sausage.
Pepperoni and or sausage.
Yeah. Maybe like a Canadian bacon as well?
I think that's more of a meat lovers. I think Supreme is just...
You go 3 meats, you're going meat lovers.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Okay.
I want to talk accents. Excuse me.
Accents.
What you won't talk accents for?
Well,
Yeah,
I thought
man.
they were pretty bad. And I thought the young lady was like slipping in and out of like this weird British thing going on.
Yeah, I heard some British.
But then I heard like a very like sort of normal American Midwestern accent and then mixed with maybe a little bit of a sort of an Asian flair.
I was confused.
Yeah. Again, the dialogue was rough, guys.
Okay.
Oh, you're just talking accents, though, not necessarily dialogue.
No,
But,
yeah, sorry.
I mean, sure, yeah.
The affliction, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that all there is to say?
I mean, I can't, if I could do this accent a little bit better, I'd be talking about a lot more stuff.
I mean, I
down
loved
there.
how the uncle just spoke Japanese and they just did the subtitles. That was, that was great.
It reminded me of I don't want your life.
I don't want your life.
Damn it. Okay.
There's another quote.
She was born in Lima, Peru.
Peru.
Peruvian.
She said her mother was from Australia in the movie.
There's another quote
catch up.
my wife and I quote all the time. It's kind of a like a talking like this a little bit, but it's you remember Napoleon Dynamite where old boy's trying to sell the Tupperware or something, and he's trying to sell like this ship to like this woman in like a house, and she leans to her husband because she goes, "I want that." We all every time we see something we want, we're like, "I want that."
I've never seen that movie. I don't really want to.
Nick, you haven't seen Napoleon Dynamite?
Don't want to.
Oh boy,
nah.
It's pretty stupid, but yeah, go. You should watch it.
I love every minute.
Oh
of
my
it.
God, it's a classic.
Nah.
Oh, it holds up.
Yeah.
It holds up.
All right.
It's great.
We've
Great
talked
movie.
about
I
how
just watched it again.
It's
Did
so
you?
good.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in 10
It's
years.
one of the most rewatchable movies.
Okay, it's
ever.
not the Napoleon Dynamite show, guys.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Hot
Well,
Pocket.
you wouldn't know
Hot
if it
Pocket.
was.
What's the next flavor? What do we got?
Get us back on track.
That's what the show is. Okay, we've talked about how there's a proprietary recipe for the barbecue beef at the Hot Pocket factory, right? Chicken, we don't know.
We don't know.
Wow. But we know for sure that the beef, they're doing something proprietary.
It's highly technical.
It's highly technical.
A blend of spices.
Patents have been filed.
Their precision's down to the 107.1 proof level of detail.
There's very specialized equipment that they use to create this. I want to talk about fish out of water genre.
I thought about that for Brian's Corner. Great genre.
Well, that's that. So first of all, I just want to say it's one of the best. It's one of the best. It's instant.
There's so much
intrigue.
you can do with it.
Yep.
Instant intrigue. You immediately are taking this journey with the character, trying to kind of figure things out in this kind of foreign place. You don't know what's going on. You're learning with them. I really think it's like just a smart device to be used in movies, and I think it was used smartly here.
Yeah. The Jerk is a great example.
The Jerk, yep.
A lot of 80s and 90s comedies, 70s, 80s, and 90s comedies. I like Big. That's great fish out of water.
Yes. That's a really
that's
good
great.
one.
You're right. It lends itself to so much show don't tell, I think. Maybe the fish out of water genre has the most SDTs of any genre. Could be. I also feel like fish out of water, the last thing I'll say about it, I feel like fish out of water lends itself to potentially some of the strongest single character arcs as well. And not only the person who's the fish, but the people around, because it's almost like the people around the fish out of
They're
water.
taking the journey too.
They sort of learn as well. And it's like you got a lot of people learning.
Everyone's
Do
learning.
we have any off the cup? Like, what are the best fish out of water movies?
I just mentioned two.
I think of Titanic. What do you guys think about that as a take?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack
You got kind of the
coming
poor,
into the rich.
poor boy.
It's fish out of water adjacent for sure.
Because even the lower class of the Titanic at the time was still pretty high class compared to Jack as a character.
And I think there literally was a fish out of water on the deck of the Titanic
yes,
in one
the one
scene.
flopped out and it flopped on the deck. Yeah.
Any type of like Prince in the Popper story is a fish out of water story, kind of. There are a lot of examples. Yeah.
I wish I had more. I mean, there's great examples out there. You asked that. I wish I had more. The Matrix fish out of water.
Yeah, because he goes into the digital world.
Fish out of water.
Into the real world.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So we're gonna move on to a hot beef taco. And we're gonna talk about young Bow Wow.
No.
I did not see that coming.
Guys, Bow Wow was in this film. This is probably, if you were gonna give the man an Oscar, this would probably be the one, right?
He was serviceable.
He was fun. He was fun.
The only problem I had with him was literally winking at the camera, breaking the fourth wall for the only moment in the entire thing.
Brian,
but that wasn't his fault.
So
it wasn't Bow Wow's fault.
As promised earlier.
Did I miss other?
As promised earlier, I'm just going to read to you this verbatim. Bow Wow winking at the camera as the elevator closes. And I just want you to see right there what that says. Does that say +5?
+5 points.
At the top?
That's amazing.
+5.
How was your mind altered at all?
No, I was high on life.
Okay. Why? Can I just ask you why?
Because I love being alive.
No.
Oh.
Why? If anyone ever asks you why you want to be high on life, that's a dumb question. I'm asking why does all of a sudden a person in a movie completely breaking the fourth wall and winking at the camera, and that being the only split second in the entire movie that happens, and you already know that person's walking into an elevator full of chicks, that he's cool and he's going up and he has to turn and wink. That made me want to retch. For you, I'm asking, why did that what did that do for you? Why
it brought me unadulterated joy.
Okay.
It
That's
brought
valid.
so much joy.
Yeah, I was like,
don't just repeat what Nick says, Grizz. I need you to have your own things that you say.
what's going to happen in that elevator? I want to know. I'm thinking about it.
You've got
trolling
four
me.
floors.
It's got my imagination just moving and
4
running.
floors of cars.
I
jumping.
already thought that before he had to turn to me and wink. Like that wink was insulted my intelligence.
No, but
frankly.
see, before the wink, I was like, "Oh, okay,
See,
cool."
the
And then he
whole-
gives the wink, and I'm like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, but the whole movie.
Why didn't he wink at one of the girls? Why did he have to turn to the
Well,
camera?
But I'm
He wants to
sorry.
let
I'm
us
sorry.
know.
This whole movie felt like an entire wink to the audience, and like a respect way, like the fun, quirky, goofball way. Like it was just fun. Like I felt like I was in on the joke the entire movie.
You
It was
think this
not
movie
taking
was a
itself
joke?
seriously.
You think the movie was a joke?
It
and
was not taking
seriously?
itself serious.
Oh, I highly disagree with that.
You
think the tone of this movie was a wink, wink, nudge, nudge?
I think so, because of how like hated 2 was, and they had to come up with another reason to make 3.
We're gonna put some habanero on this beef taco.
have
Let's
to.
go.
I thought this movie was earnest as fuck. I did not think there was
Really?
any self like nobody.
I
in this
think you can wink at the camera and still be like have heart and like enjoyment and like laughter out of a film. But like, I think that's what this was. I think that's why people go back to it years and years later and have so much respect and like fun for it.
Well, it lost 10 points.
I think
for me.
that's why I'm in
Yeah.
the middle between you guys, is because like I don't see it either way really. I see it as like tributes to the culture and to the racing style and all that kind of stuff. But I don't feel like it was they were making light of it or making it a joke or anything like that.
No, I hate to do this, and I'm only saying this because I feel like it's us against the world. But I want to real quick say, you said that you didn't feel like it was either one. I think what you're saying is you agree with me, because there is no. It's either a wink at the audience or it's not. There's no in between.
I think it was such a fine line. It was such a fine line.
Parts that do that. Like
so you think it does?
Because it's not full satire, it's not full comedy, it's not full jokey. It's the movie
it's
still had,
absolutely no part any of that. It is no satire.
I don't know,
No
man.
comedy.
when the turd hits the camera, does it not make you laugh?
yeah, there you
Well,
go. There you go.
okay, so that's the first good point I've heard in regard to
When
this.
the turd hits the
Because
camera.
I didn't notice the turd hitting the camera, and so now
or like the fact that he's going and picking up a pog from a fucking drug dealer or whatever backroom dealer that was with Han, and like
in the
just the
pachinko place?
goofiest shit. Yeah.
wait, what do you
When
mean?
they're like, he goes,
I
"You got to
need
go
you
in
to
and
go
get
pick
the
up a
paw."
pog. I need you to go pick up a pog. And it was just
No, it's paw, PAW.
paw.
Yes.
Yeah, the very
'Cause
large.
it was a pog.
The
He has a
large
paw.
man.
Oh,
he had a paw
gotcha.
tattoo.
Okay. I thought he was saying you need to go talk to this man about a pog.
I mean, maybe
Not a
I need to
paw.
watch it again. But like, to me, this movie had absolutely no meta or a wink at the camera or sort of comedy or parody whatsoever. To me, it was like we're making a movie about drifting.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just watch all these interviews with like Justin Lin, the director, and like he kind of like jokes about it now, but I think he was having fun with this. He was trying to have like this wildly interesting take on this, but
Oh, there's
there it
the
is.
stencil.
Yeah, I see exactly the scene where
On the black Fair Lady Z, we just saw like the side stenciling or whatever after Han's death. Okay, so I guess if I have to go watch interviews with Justin Lin to find out that he was saying that he was making
I
the movie
felt
in
that when
way.
I first watched the movie. I felt like they were joking in a lot of moments where they were just like, it wasn't as melodramatic or super dramatic as most films. Like with this context, there's death, there's backroom deals, there's culture differences, there's all these deep themes. But I don't know. I just felt like the funny little wink off thing, like him picking an American actor with a crazy thick accent was funny to me. And I think
It was interesting.
I
don't think it
picked
was
up
like
on
a-
it
I
and
don't think
then
it was
found
like,
it even more deep.
I
When
don't think it
he
was like self-parody or anything like that.
Last
So,
I checked, we were in a Bow Wow beef taco.
Fair enough.
Bow Wow beef taco.
So to put a cork in this, Grizz, you thought it was the whole movie was a wink to the audience. Nick, it just brought you joy, which is valid. So okay, I going my answers there.
So we're gonna now. I hate to do this, but now I have to make this beef taco Mexican style. And so
I hate to do this.
We're gonna talk about Bow Wow's car, which I thought had to be the just the most whack car in the film.
Was it a Scion?
It was a Volkswagen.
Volkswagen Touran.
okay.
It was this German monstrosity.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So they gave him.
It was not awesome.
Volkswagen actually gave them that car to do that.
I loved it.
I found that.
And
I don't
Justin
like,
Lin
I don't
made
like
the-
Volkswagens.
Yeah, he made the choice to like make
I-
the whole Hulk thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a opinion on Volkswagen the brand, but I thought that car it was very creative. It was like one of the things in the movie where I was like, oh, that's creative. They gave this guy who pedals iPods and stuff this crazy Hulk car. Thank you, somebody, for
for this fun, quirky
For
character
actually, yeah,
that was
adding
the
something
bridge
quirky.
between Tokyo and America.
Yeah, it worked.
Good
It
point.
worked
That's a
great.
great
It
point.
worked
Yeah.
great for the character. I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
I just hated the car.
You hated the car?
Yeah, it was just a car for a little turkey guy.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
okay. I don't want that car.
No,
That's
definitely
what
don't
I'm
want that.
saying.
car.
Like,
When
it's an embarrassing car.
It fit for that
But
character.
when I'm
Yeah, but
watching,
it was
when I'm
fine for the
watching a
character.
movie and I see that, I like the car. I'm not saying I want it. I just thought it was good. I
Sure,
liked
it was fitting for the character.
I liked
I can
it.
agree
It was
with
in
that.
the movie.
It was
Let's put
fun.
it that way.
It was fun.
But it was a very
I agree.
silly little Volkswagen. Okay.
It was very silly. That's why I liked it.
Meatballs and mozzarella. I want to talk music in this film. I want to talk Teriyaki Boyz.
It's like a steel drum going on in the
What's not
background
going
there.
on in
It's
that?
so good.
much.
Guys, the
It's-
soundtrack for this movie was awesome.
It's so good, and there's music like in every scene, just
A lot of music,
constantly music
yeah.
playing, and there's all sorts of stuff. Kid Rock. You've got all sorts of.
Ba with the ba, baby.
You've got the
yeah.
the Teriyaki Boyz is really all you need to know. And I will say that song is to this very day very culturally relevant. Like you will hear new dance music that samples that song in 2024
It's lasted a long
that
time.
people are still listening to.
I mean, it's a
As Ben
trend.
pointed out on TikTok, you can hear all sorts of people playing that song to this day
Yeah, I
in
mean,
2024.
in
Good song.
2024.
Good songs last, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the Asian techno party, it slaps. It's awesome. It's fun. It looks like a little bit better than the American techno parties, mostly because the guy to girl ratio seems to be better for some reason.
Yeah. It's like 5-1.
Which cool.
You didn't bring it up, but in the scene where they're going, or where he gets the car, the Mona Lisa, and he's going up the parking garage, they're streaming the race via these old ass Nokias.
Ben.
Are we
we're
gonna talk about this?
Talk about this.
Oh,
But they
thank
do that.
God.
Make
They
sure.
do that in the
God,
final scene too.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
In the final,
I wanted to make sure we
definitely
talked
gonna
about
talk
it.
Are they
about
just
that.
so far ahead of
100%
us in
guys,
technology that I was
guys.
not aware of?
That is
Sorry.
that's a spinach and artichoke chicken
We'll get there.
that's going to be coming up later.
We'll get there.
Okay, so just
Spoiler alert.
take a breather.
Spoiler like a car.
Here we go.
Oh, little Bow Wow. Calm down. Stop winking at me.
And we're gonna go chicken bacon ranch.
Oh, check out my ranch.
And we're gonna talk Han. Our man Han.
Han Pocket.
Han. Just Han.
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 My favorite character of this entire film.
He is the coolest Han in cinema.
That's blasphemy. You shut your dirty mouth.
He is always eating. We've talked about that. We're gonna get into that, dig into that a little bit more. Everything he does is cool.
Everything.
The way he tosses Eminem the keys to his car, not giving a fuck. On this Mona Lisa of cars. He doesn't give a fuck. Wreck it. I don't care. I'm Han.
Yeah.
Give a fuck. I'm rich. I'm rich.
Spoiler alert. He's a millionaire based on future films, but we'll get into that
Han's
later.
rich. He also doesn't, whenever he gets bad news, he takes it very, very well. When people want to fight him, he wants to hug. He steals from the mob.
That's the only thing you've said just now that I think is interesting.
But I think that makes it the whole thing so interesting because he's the coolest guy ever, and he's also stealing from the mob.
Yeah.
And fuck those guys.
And
Those
he
guys
doesn't give a shit about the mob.
Yeah, they were probably terrible people. They probably, if you're going to steal from anyone, you may as well.
The Tokyo Mafia. Yeah.
I like that. That was
The Yakuza.
Yeah.
Steal from the mob. I like that.
That's like that's how much of a fuck Han doesn't give,
Yeah.
which I think is so badass. How much of a fuck would you not have to give to steal from the mob, to steal from the Yakuza? Fuck you, I'm going to just steal from the Yakuza.
It's admirable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Han is ice cold in this Chicken Bang Ranch.
Chicken Big Ranch.
Didn't buy him.
Didn't
Grizz.
buy him.
Back me up here.
I'll back you up. He was my favorite character in this entire film. He just felt so cool, calm, collected in the most extreme cases, whether it was racing, whether it was scoping for chicks in his car, talking about how this is why he has in races.
Oh my gosh, what a badass.
What a badass. I also know why he eats so much in this film. Did you know this?
He
Fun
has
fact?
a tapeworm?
No, he does not. Him and Justin, what was the director?
Lin.
Justin Lin. So I guess they worked on an independent film called Better Luck Tomorrow. And the Han character is from that film, which was starring Sung Kang, the character that played Han. In that movie, he chain smoked, like tons of, like every single scene he was puffing on a cigarette or playing with a cigarette or whatever it was. And so for this, they were going to try to pull that character into this franchise. And like Justin Lin had that idea the whole way through. And Han's character, or the actor that played Han, had this thought. He's like, if we're going to play in this world, we're going to go to the Fast franchise. I can't be doing that for children,
Yeah, that makes
for
sense.
younger audiences. So he came up with the character trope that he would eat throughout the film to get away from his addiction.
Yeah.
So
It
that's
was
why
more
he's
like a tick instead
Right.
of
They should have just not tried to bring that other character into this other movie. I don't know why they were fixated on that. The eating was distracting, and it was too much. Kept going and going and going. I get it. And then also, my biggest complaint on this movie is how one-dimensional it is. Everyone is very one-dimensional, caricatures, and Han, so one-dimensional that just there's nothing compelling for him to me. So
you didn't want to
buy it.
find. You didn't want to find out more about him. Like you didn't.
No,
see
because
his.
everyone else.
No, because they would have just made him be something that's unearned. The fact that he was so nonchalant about everything was unearned. You can't just have a guy,
But not
with a
totally.
souped up. His car,
but it
was
made him so
souped up
mysterious
that it was called Mona Lisa. Okay, he spent time. I know he hired people to do it, but he loved that car and spent time on it. And when he gave the keys over, they were like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Whatever. We'll see what he's got." The kid destroys his car and he doesn't care. That is unrealistic.
Well,
Give
he
me a
does care
reason
because
why.
he made him work for him.
He didn't care. He did. He wasn't. Did
All right.
you look at his face after it happened? If somebody actually has a car like that gets destroyed, they're gonna fucking care about it. He didn't care at all.
Brian, I
He
feel
made
like
him-
you're getting a little hoarse.
I am. I was like, is that just my headphones?
No,
my
it's-
mic.
it's you.
Right.
You're getting very upset.
I think he was so one dimensional because again, they could have just. It's like you can say anything you want about a character and just, since it's fiction, you could just make that character be that. My platform is you have to tell me why. It has to make sense as to why that person's doing what they're doing. And Han did not. I didn't buy anything that he was doing.
I had
in this
the
movie.
opposite reaction because I just felt like I was so much more curious about that character and his backstory and his history. And I think that's what the whole fandom drove behind in the social media campaign to bring him back.
Nice.
And so that's why he came back in the later films. And then people were so curious as to how was he filthy rich? Why did he not care about money? Why did he have this? Why did he escape from Japan? Because he talks about how he came there as a fish out of water himself. And I think that's just so
I mean, none of that
interesting.
was in this movie, so I can only speak to this movie.
None of that was, but it made me curious as to why he was there. How did he get money? Why did he give no shits when it came to the fucking Yakuza? Like,
I'll tell you what would have made him not one-dimensional is if somebody somewhere would have said something that caused him to fucking flip out. And then he's got this thing, and it's like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. He's cool, calm, and collected, but wait a minute, he's an actual human that actually is not just like this parody or caricature of a human.
see, I can respect that. I can get behind that.
Give me something that like gets at him or whatever, you know? So he just felt very one-dimensional. Now, don't get me wrong. He was fucking odd. Like I wanted to be Han. Everybody wants. I mean, he was a fan. He was like a fantasy guy, right? This rich guy who just doesn't care about anything. That's what every guy wants to act like they are, but it's not realistic, and it's not what I look for in movies.
He's just to me, he was just I don't really even necessarily disagree with you, but to me, he's just a very fun character. I just really liked. I thought he had some good lines. I liked when after the car got wrecked and he was super cool. He was just like, "Don't leave town."
Yeah,
That was funny. Like that was just. I don't know. He was just a really good character to me. I like how he made Eminem his debt collector. I just thought that was I just thought he was an interesting character. But
Can we talk about that? Why did he make him his debt collector? How did that work?
Because it was just fun.
But how?
Because he owes him a car.
He owes him a car.
Okay, so wait a minute. But how did that work, though?
There were two quotes from this film that Han made that makes me feel like that all makes sense. So there's the first one: "I might call you once a week, or once an hour. I don't care if you're sick, as a dog, or as in bed with Beyonce. I call you show." I think that was super interesting that he was like, I don't give a fuck, but he knew testing him with giving him a car, which he didn't care about the money. He didn't care about the car. It was something he had, 15 of them in his garage, that he was going to give him that. And so the second quote later was, "Why not? I have money. It's trust and character I need around me. Who you choose to be around, whoever you like who you choose to be around lets you know who you are. One car in exchange for what a man is made of. That's a price I can live with." So I thought those were two super powerful lines that Han made in this film that made me even more interested in his character and why.
So that second one, why did he even give him the keys? So if he's talking about that he's trying to judge a character and surround himself with people who are like these great people, of all the people there, okay, sure, he's a foreigner. I'm not going to take that answer because like that's nothing. What did he showcase where Han was like, there's something about this guy that I'm going to let him drive Mona Lisa? It was unearned.
I don't think it looked like Eminem. I feel
that's
like
not fair. That's not enough for me.
I don't think it was unearned.
Well,
I think
it was enough for Han, and I feel like that. I don't know. Han,
I think he saw the
been
drive and the passion in.
Where did he see that? Because he fucking drove the worst you've ever seen, and the car showed up at the end completely wrecked. Like he showed no aptitude.
It was almost like he was doing a favor for Lil Bow Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, no,
now we're on to something. Maybe there's something there.
Because they were connected, Lil Bow Wow and
because
Han.
he's the one that brought him to that race.
Right.
He's the one that brought him, and he started looking around the cars. Maybe he saw the glimmer in his eye, the whatever it was, the passion about, he's interested. Like he obviously is a fish out of water. And so he's looking at these cars and still has mad respect for these Japanese-made cars. But he's an American, obviously out of place, and he knows everything about American cars and all that stuff. So I think it was interesting that he showed that respect. And then also he's like kind of like going with the back and forth with who he was competing with, who was DK.
Yep.
And so he's like watching this like dichotomy of like, I also have a shared enemy in DK. Like I don't give a fuck about that kid, but I'm stealing money from him via his Yakuza uncle. And I think he just saw that respect and he was like, I could put money behind this.
It's a stretch. And also Han and DK were together. I don't know why he's trying to get somebody to take down DK, because DK's his ticket. His money
DK
ticket.
is a high schooler.
I wanted to get back to what you said, Nick. And I don't even remember what it was, but I remember you said it. And what did you say? What was the last thing you said a million years ago?
It's been a long
Chicken Bacon Ranch
since I talked.
No, we're past it.
I'm fighting for this film, guys.
Was I talking about a Han quote?
No, you just started it with, let's talk about Han.
Let's move on.
I also liked when he said, "This is my Mexico."
Let's move Han.
We're gonna move Han.
Let's move on.
Buffalo style chicken. Was this a proprietary recipe? I forget. We need to do some investigations.
No, there was a proprietary barbecue,
but not buffalo.
Barbecue beef.
I don't know.
Barbecue beef.
Yeah, there was like the barbecue beef was the proprietary.
So maybe it's
barbecue.
the spices.
But I think buffalo is just typical buffalo, right?
Okay, yes, it's a pretty standard buffalo, but it's a good buffalo.
All right, let's hear it.
Solid buffalo.
Well, it's a Hot Pocket, so of course it's good.
It is. We're going to talk AIM. You guys have AIM?
Oh, absolutely.
You guys remember there's a little bit of AIM action? So remember Eminem's name on AIM?
Oh, man. I saw it on screen.
Oh, I missed it. No.
It was Bama Boy.
Bama Boy?
Bama Boy.
Bama Boy. So he's not from North Carolina. He's from Alabama.
I think he's from Alabama.
Okay.
What was your guys' AIM name?
I don't remember.
I think we've talked about this before, actually.
Oh, no.
In a previous episode.
We did.
Did we?
Yeah.
It must have been in like...
It was early.
Mine was Quicksilver.
Mine was probably my name. I think mine was my name. Quicksilver?
I had a couple, but yeah.
Yeah, mine was my name because my name is spelled wrong. So like no one else had that. So I just have that for all my stuff. My email, everything's just my name.
So I had one that was Quicksilver. 2 was I Dud It. Do you guys remember what movie that references? A movie called Dreamcatcher. When the
no.
Oh man. Have you guys seen that? With
what was yours?
Yeah.
Mine was Ska Nick because I liked ska music in like 7th grade.
Doesn't surprise me that you went through a
really
Scarface.
shocked.
I love that.
Shocked
I'm
right
not
now.
sure whether to be insulted or
No,
exalted.
I would briefly went through a Scarface when I worked at the Gap. So I
Still
don't know
not
if those-
sure.
I don't know if those are related.
Still not sure whether to be insulted.
No,
I listened to
I'm
ska
not-
music last week.
Okay, there
Yeah,
you go.
I mean-
You should not be insulted.
Yeah.
Let's kind of roll up here with the chicken parm. Right? That sounds good right now. Sounds good. I want a little chicken parm.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say, and it's very important. But continue.
Is this the chicken parm? No, go for it.
Well, I just was going to say, I asked the question, how did it work that Sean was a debt collector for Han, right? So Sean, he's not like some exceptionally big guy. He hasn't shown any aptitude for fighting. He doesn't have any weapons. He's a foreigner. So like, I don't understand how he just falls into this debt collect. Like, what did he do that Han or anybody else couldn't do? What did he?
He was the debt
Han drove
collector
him
because
around.
He was there.
But
Yeah.
Han drove him around and spent all his time doing it.
He owed Han this debt, and so he's using debt to pick up debt.
But what did he do special to make him be a debt collector?
I think
he had like no baggage attached. He was kind of
Yeah.
this new guy.
Yep.
You know, no one knows what he's capable of.
he's an
Could be-
outsider like Han was or used to be. I think he had that mutual respect for him.
How could Han just not have gotten the money?
He was
because he didn't want to put himself in that danger.
Yeah,
But he
scared.
did anyway because he was at the scene and he drove him there anyway and he was always with him. So I don't know.
Indirectly.
You're really reaching here. I don't buy the fact that he just backed into this like job that like, oh, I walk around and I just ask you take me here and I just walk in and ask them for money and now I pay off a $40,000 car. I don't know. It
For me,
didn't
that
work.
was
It was lazy writing.
One of the least
Very
things.
very lazy
Least
writing.
egregious things.
At least egregious. There was way more egregious.
Can you? Well, let's hear some egregious things.
I don't
then.
want to bogart the podcast.
Okay. Well, I mean, if that's your least egregious, oof, whoa.
My most egregious is that the
You gave it a
entire first
63.
the entire first sequence is not even referenced for the rest of the film.
That's
Like
pretty
you don't even
egregious, yeah.
talk about any of the characters. They all just fall off after the first 10 minutes.
Preach it, Ben. This is what I'm talking about.
And then you just assume that he is cool and doesn't talk to his mom anymore. Like what? Apparently his mom cared about him, but doesn't now.
We got 90 minutes
Let's
to get
go.
our
Let's
story
go.
down.
Yeah.
Like
Let's
it's
go.
just like
Yes, Ben. Now we're talking about what makes a
this-
movie good.
But this is why I rated it high because I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I rated it a 60. Like it's not high, but it's also not low.
Yeah.
It's because I enjoyed it. I didn't necessarily think it was a great film, but I also didn't think it was the worst film.
Yeah. It's just, it's hard for me because I just put the enjoyment side of that so much higher and it held up because it was so fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to quantify.
Anyway, okay. I just wanted to get that out there, Nick, because that was one of my biggest things I wanted to hit was him being that debt collector. To me, made no sense. So let's get to the chicken parm.
I think that was the chicken
was the
parm.
chicken
I think
parm.
this.
Oh, you
is
gave me a
now-
chicken parm for that?
I did.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
And we're moving to a cheeseburger,
I always love a cheeseburger.
and we're going to talk f bombs.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember an f bomb in this film?
Well, it was PG-13, so there was either one or two.
There was one,
And it was
that
used-
I saw.
It was probably used as an adjective or
What's an adjective?
Wait, what? You're the word guy.
right.
As our word guy,
It wasn't used like as a verb or something. What are the rules? I don't know. There's some rules
I don't
about how a F-bomb can
I
be
think
used.
it's a gerund.
where was it used?
What the fuck did you just say?
Um,
What the fuck did you say to me?
no, I'm gonna wow you guys right now. I think it was a diphthong. No,
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna wow you guys right now, seriously, and we're gonna dissect this sentence, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it was used as a. Let me just think of my grammar skills here. This is a noun.
Okay.
This is a noun. We're both the products of fuck ups, aren't we?
Yeah, that's
is
cool.
enough.
I didn't notice that. Nice job
I didn't
spotting
even
the
catch it.
F-bomb.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember what the context there?
It was in the little like sushi vending machine scene with the girl and
Yeah, it was
Sean.
it was DK Mountain, and he was talking to the girl with the fake British accent, Neela.
Mhm.
At DK Mountain. Yeah, when they were at the vending machines, they were having.
Oh,
they were
it's- no,
eating.
not-
No, it's when she slaps him.
Yeah, they're like he's all up in her business.
She slaps him in the face. That's a Hot Pocket.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, it's a cheeseburger.
Okay, well, I wanted to talk about slaps.
Oh,
That's a separate thing.
well, that's a ham and cheese.
Ham and cheese slaps.
Okay, so you guys, I kind of never really thought about slaps until this movie. Weird, right? Because it's
We're 50 episodes in.
I know, right? It's like slapping someone in the face. Just stop and think about that for a minute. I'm going to slap you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you've been slapped in the face?
About a year and a half ago.
I love it. I love your bravery.
No context. No context.
You don't have to give context. I just wanted to know when's the last time you've been slapped in the face. And isn't it funny? Do you ever think about a slap? Because I sure have never slapped someone.
It wasn't
in the face.
funny, but I'll talk about it later.
I'm sure. No, I can probably guess, but I don't know. I just thought in slap. There's in cinema, the slap to the face, specifically the woman slapping the man. It's a very it's in a lot of movies.
Yeah,
it was almost Brian's corner, but I thought it was getting a little bit too. We just did It Ends With Us, and I didn't want to. But I really do. I love a good slap to the face.
It sends such a message.
Yeah, Let's
Let's
talk about that for a second.
Okay.
I feel like I've been like swatted by like an animal recently.
That's kind of similar.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was slapped in the face by a cat that had claws, but it willingly chose to keep them retracted.
We're just having
just to
fun.
humiliate me. No. It was
Yeah.
mad at me, but it was like it wanted me to know that it hated me, but not that it didn't want to hurt me.
See, my
And it
dog.
could.
My dog
It
is all
could.
respectful with it. He'll just come really close and then just pat my face gently, just to make sure he knows that I recognize
Doesn't
him.
sound like much of a swat.
It's not, but it's just a nice.
dog will roll over
It's like
and
a
just
nice
give you a
love
little
tap.
tap.
It's a nice
Just
love
smack
tap.
you.
Yeah, he's very intentional. So.
I loved.
We're getting off as the credits roll.
I love when Elsa slaps Indiana Jones in Last Crusade when they're like at the
good.
Führer's place. That's a good slap.
That's a good one.
You guys got any other good slaps?
Good slap.
I'm fixated on the slap. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a funny thing to think about. I'm gonna slap you in the face.
I feel like isn't there a good slap in like Casino? Doesn't like Sharon
There has
Stone
to
like
be.
really give a good one to De
of
Niro?
course.
Yeah.
I just can't. I
I was thinking
place
Casino
one.
Royale. I'm pretty sure there's a slap in that too, by his.
And
love
why does
interest.
the slap exist? It's normally to like sort of like. I feel like the guy's he's gone one step too. He's had the one thing.
Is there a Brad
and
Pitt
it's just
movie
like,
where
boom, and he has to get reset? You know
is
what I
there
mean?
a Brad Pitt movie where he takes his glove off slowly and slaps somebody with his glove? I feel like that's like an Ocean's movie scene.
Well, I know the guy and the other guy in Last Crusade in the tank takes his glove off and slaps Sean Connery across the face
that
like
might be what
5
I'm thinking
times,
of.
and then he like catches the hand. That's 2 Last Crusade slap references. Anyway, I feel like we're kind of dancing on some dangerous territory talking about slaps, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
It's
a funny thing if you really think about it.
How about I got a good one?
Yeah.
Godfather.
Oh,
Kay slaps the shit out of Michael.
In that one.
yeah.
And that's one where you're like, yep,
Yup.
that was deserved.
Yeah.
I like a good slap where we all behind.
and
we're all
Michael
behind the slap.
and Michael slaps Fredo.
Oh yeah, that's
if you have
right.
a good slap
Ooh.
scene or a good slap moment in a movie, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know about a good slap scene. And what's your favorite car?
Should I want to maybe take that back. Does Kay slap Michael? Maybe I'm thinking of Sonny's wife.
Or is it the Godfather
I'm
part
a Godfather
3?
expert.
I know that Michael definitely slaps Fredo. So there's a slap in The Godfather.
Okay.
Shoo.
Slap.
You
first.
came out so hot with that take that I just was all on board, but now
I know
now I'm
because
second
they have a
guessing.
very intense fight where there's dishes thrown and like, but I don't know there's an actual slap.
I want to know what's the best slap. I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna watch a super cut.
How about
Great slaps.
Goodfellas?
Who gets slapped? In
Joe
Goodfellas?
Pesci slaps.
Joe Pesci.
Am I funny to you? Huh? Am I funny to you?
See what I mean about a slap?
Yeah.
We take them for granted,
Uh-huh.
and I feel
We
like
do.
they're going to be extinct soon.
Yeah.
We got to really appreciate the slap while we still have it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get it? Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
I'm intrigued.
Appreciate the hot pocket
intrigued.
time.
All right. Boy, where do we go from here? We were just in a ham and cheese. Now we're going to go hickory. Hickory ham and cheese. Why not?
We haven't
Why
done a
not?
hickory ham and cheese.
I don't
have
think
we?
so.
I don't
That
think
feels
so.
new.
I'm on board.
Well, we're here. We're going to talk Tokyo a little bit. I'm going to say this actually probably should have been in my flip the script. I think Tokyo was a little undersold in this movie. It's such a cool, visually, such a cool place. And even like the car chase where they're sort of using their drifting skills in the real world. Just didn't quite show Tokyo the way I wanted to see it. It was not bad. I didn't think they fucked it up, but it was like Tokyo just has so many, just such iconic scenery and those crazy neon signs. And there just wasn't enough. There could have been more of that.
Yeah.
Outside of the Shibuya crossing iconic scene where they're kind of just shooting through the people, which the people are CG, but the scene is real. I think that was probably the most Tokyo scene outside of just the bright neon lights, the vending machine stuff, the school, like showing all the sushi and all the different types of food and like the culture stuff. But I want to say the most of this movie was shot not in Japan. It was mostly shot in LA.
Yeah, I'm sure
So
that's true.
I think there was a huge
you
amount.
could kind of tell, actually.
There was a weird amount of like city streets, just blurry skyscrapers, and it was like various city, like skyscraper scenes in the city of LA.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. And I'm not docking the movie at all for it, but because it's probably really hard to do. But I feel like the Tokyo-ness of this movie was dialed up to about a 4, and it could have gone all the way up to, you know.
Yeah. Okay, chicken broccoli cheddar. Brian, I think one thing I want to bring this up to you because I think it's actually something this movie did really well that a well-told story will do, and not all movies do it. And that's putting our hero kind of just before sort of the climactic sequence in a state of total despair. This guy has lost everything at this point. He's lost his family. He's lost, his friends are dead. He's lost the girl. He's lost the cars. He has nothing. And I think that's like, strong. I think a story will put your hero in the place of total hopelessness and despair 20-25 minutes before the end of the movie. And this movie does that and does it well, I think.
Yes and no. Yes, it does. It does it well because he does wind up in that situation. And, you're not sure how he's going to get out of this. But I say no because sort of how it gets resolved is unrealistic to me. I don't think Kamada is going to fucking care about a race between two youngsters in their fancy toys cars. Like he's this mafia guy. He's not going to care about him walking in here and saying, let's settle it with a race. And then him going, yeah, let's do this. And he actually goes and watches the race. He's got too much to do. He's got too much going on in the mob world. It's an easy way out. I like the fact that he finds that Bow Wow has the money hidden behind the speaker in the Hulk mobile that Han's been stealing, and he uses that to walk in there. I'm all in all up to that point. But the fact that Kamada cares about some race, that's where the subculture of drifting rears its ugly head again. And it's like where they could have gone interesting with a story and gone away from the racing and gone to storyland with compelling stuff happening. Unfortunately, they couldn't because this had to be a racing movie. It had to be a drifting movie. And the final act had to have a drift race. So, of course, Kamada's going to care about a race. So that's the no part. But definitely yes. And you're right. I love when you have no idea how the fuck is this character going to get out of this. The movie did that part well. Yeah.
You could say they drifted away from the plot.
Just like that. How many minutes did you have that planned for?
He's like, I can't. He's like, I have to remember this because Brian's still talking, and I gotta have the joke ready.
That was the most ready Ben's ever been on.
Your eyes were deadpan. You were like, bam!
It was almost robotic. It was impressive.
That was well done.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, we'll just extend this. I believe I brought up a spinach artichoke chicken. I guess that's.
Oh, okay.
Are we trusting the Hot Pocket artichoke? Yes, we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are. It's a premium artichoke. It's from where the fuck do they make artichokes?
Bangladesh.
And it's not the part of the artichoke that's real kind of grizzly and chewy. It's the soft artichoke heart.
What even is an artichoke? I feel it's like this.
I feel
weird
like only
alien.
3% of the artichoke's edible. There's always the shell part.
Even is it?
You know what I'm talking
Can
about?
you explain what
It's
an
like a
artichoke
fruit.
is?
I don't even know
for us,
what one is.
It's a vegetable?
Is it the same thing as a bloomin' onion?
As our in-house vegan.
Rigatoni, ricotta, bloomin' onion, artichoke. Everything's the same.
Is it a vegetable? Technically,
It's a root, some type of vegetable.
Yeah, it's
root.
going to be
not a root.
vegetable family. It's vegetable. Yeah,
it
it's
grows.
not a fruit
Yeah, it's not a root.
or a root. All we know is it's fucking delicious in a hot pocket.
It is.
Okay.
And we're gonna talk. What's his name? Mr. Takashi.
Kamada.
Kamada.
Yeah.
Kamada. How about a Mr. Kamada origin story film? That might even be better than Han.
You know who he reminded me of? Remember the guy from Inception? Who he's like the guy who they have to incept.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but he's like a very famous. I feel like he's Japanese.
yeah.
That's who he reminded me of.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Ken Watanabe or?
Yeah, I think you're right. I sounds
I shouldn't
right.
even. I hate that movie.
I know. I was going to say I didn't expect you to get the reference, but you
geez.
did. So good job.
Goodness.
Nice.
Okay. What are we moving on to here? Bacon, egg, and cheese. Yes, Ben. You
Yes.
brought this up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The year is 2006.
Yes.
Mhm.
We're all on like razors and flip phones and shit
AIM
and AIM. Yet we're live streaming.
somehow.
We're live streaming these drift races on DK Mountain.
Right.
From magical
Via-
drone cameras,
via
right?
flip phones. Yep.
That are live broadcasting the race
On every turn of the entire mountain.
to the razors.
I mean,
I did have a problem with that.
I did too.
I don't know if I had a problem with it. I was just curious. Like, was Japan that far ahead in technology? Which I'm not shocked.
Actually,
by.
you're right, Grizz. I don't have a problem. You're right.
I don't have a
Yes.
problem
Yes.
with it. I feel like they were
were.
that far advanced in their streaming services and their technology over us.
Disagree.
They're so advanced.
I don't,
They did not have that.
but I don't understand what kind of service they're watching this on.
You can't have that technology. If that technology existed in Japan at that time, it would exist here. It's just a matter of how prevalent it is. That's the difference between Japan, China. Here is the prevalence. It's not whether or not the technology exists.
It was ridiculous. Even today, that would be tough to pull off.
I may be knocked.
especially on those Nokia flip
Yeah.
phones.
Yeah, you're like, what? And it's nighttime? Like,
But-
what the fuck? How do you
Right.
fucking, like...
I remember having to like struggle to download a 198 kilobit or kilobit JPEG
Yeah.
on my Nokia flip
Yeah,
phone.
that stuff didn't exist then. It didn't make sense. However, it did not like ruin anything for me. It's just like
No.
the
But it
idea
was
is you have
stupid.
all these people watching this race, so I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Jeez, what do we have left here, guys? Bold. We've got a couple of big and bold flavors. Big and bold steak nacho spice blasted crust.
Holy
Good
mother!
Lord.
What's in the nacho spice
How
blast?
does that fit on the box?
It's got a little bit of spice, but not too much.
Yeah, it's definitely like the spicy nacho cheese that you get like with nachos at the stadium. It's that kind of a nacho.
It's a total
spice.
gamble when you're at a stadium and you don't know if it's going to be a spicy nacho or just a basic
It
nacho.
better be spicy.
You don't know.
Who makes a not spicy cheese sauce? That's lame.
I'm glad we sussed that out.
You brought it up.
Let's talk. No, I know. I was being
Oh, okay.
sincere.
I thought you
was
were being sarcastic.
No, I was
Sorry.
not. Maybe a sprinkle of habanero in there. I don't know.
Oh.
It could be. It could be. Just too hot. That's too hot.
No.
Yeah, it's too much.
Let's talk Big Daddy Diesel's cameo at the end.
Okay.
Loved it.
I enjoyed that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm glad it
we-
wasn't in a post-credit scene. Thank you,
Yeah, yeah, I
Justin.
like that.
It was
Like,
in the
yeah,
movie.
put
It was
in the
in-
movie.
it was
like
part of
that
the
it was
film.
actually in the
Yeah.
movie. And I like the other thing I like that this movie did was like, okay, yes, we're in Tokyo, but it tastefully worked in the American muscle.
Mhm.
You know, you've got the Mustang at the end.
Yeah.
You've got the Roadrunner with Vin Diesel. It didn't overdo it.
Yep.
You know, the American muscle's like 10% of the cars in the movie.
And you had
But I-
Sean taking on the Japanese culture and
Yeah,
getting
yeah. It
a
was like
foreign
a kind of
car.
an East
Yeah.
versus West
Yeah.
sort of thing going on there.
He also took a Nissan engine and put it in the
He also did. Yeah,
American
yeah,
That was a
good
great
point, good
metaphor for American muscle with the heart of a Japanese culture.
or actually what that's really a great, it's almost a metaphor for Eminem, right? He's sort of this transplant, right? He's this American guy who now has this Japanese heart, right? That's
Right.
deep.
Yeah,
That's
so it's
plus
just-
10
that's what I was
points,
just saying.
plus 15 points. Let's
Yeah,
go.
that's
What a
I'm talking
film.
about.
What a
I
film.
love that. I've read it in a couple reviews and I think it's really interesting.
This, yeah, should have gotten Best Picture.
5-year-old could have come up with that, but yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
Well, we had a fun Hot Pocket, sponsored by Old Elk.
Thank you, Old Elk.
And we're going to give some closing thoughts on this film. So, I'll start here. You know, this is a movie that I have seen many times. I've seen this movie 8.5 times. And
Respect.
I like this movie every time I watch it. It's stupid. It's silly. It's fun. It delivers on the promise of the premise. It's fast and furious and ridiculous. And I like the racing. I like cars. Some of the CGI racing, that was one of the biggest problems I had with the film. I didn't like the CGI racing. But the story was enough. The acting was bad. I just had a good time with this movie. I have a good time with this film. If you like stupid early aught movies, or I guess mid aught movies that are just kind of the time and just fun and ridiculous and goofy, and you like cars, watch this movie.
Yes. I cannot agree with you more on every front. I mean, I recommend this movie to a lot of people. I talk about it being underrated in the franchise and underrated as a film. It's super basic from a storyline standpoint. Big characters, all those things are super simple. But I think the visuals, the music, the buildup of like the mob bosses, the cars, the racing, the actual death of a main character, I think that's all interesting to me. I think that it had a little bit of heart. I think it had all the cultural aspects of Japan and America blended together. I mean, it's so much fun. I've seen this movie a dozen times, and I still find new things and still have an appreciation for it. So,
yeah, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Just because something makes me feel good doesn't mean it is objectively a good piece of art. All movies are art. This is not good art. It's not a well-made movie. It's a great movie to put on in the background. And I never sat there watching the movie going, I'm not enjoying myself. I wish this was over. There's been a lot of movies that I've thought that. I did not think that on this movie. I just thought, well, there's nothing new here, and it's just for somebody who likes cars. So for those reasons, I cannot rate it higher than my 35.
Okay.
Respectful.
We're on, it's a new thing. It's called SoKyle Media, and we're on it.
We are.
We absolutely are. Hey, watch us on YouTube. Like and subscribe. We've gotten some awesome comments.
Oh,
haven't we?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but rate the film below.
Oh, that's right.
Give us your rating.
It is the greatest way that we can get reach your rating on this show.
Give it a 2. Give it a 92.
Here's what we want from you.
Talk.
We want your comment. You can put anything you want in there. We'll all read it. We want you to, number one, here's your assignment. Give us a rating for the film out of 100. You just put the number. You don't even have to put any rationale. Just put the number. I promise I will not make fun of you on audience. Anybody who comments on us, they're not popcorn people. I will do anything for you. I'll read anything you write, and you are right. So give us your rating, number 1. Number 2, tell us what's your favorite car.
Yeah, I like that.
And number 3, when's the last time you've been slapped? So, engage with us. We love the engagement. And yeah, check us out on YouTube. We're kind of proud of our set. You can look at Nick's socks. But really, if you don't know how to find us, go to criticalmasspodcast.com and you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
And on this next video, we're going to pick out one comment and we're going to give just a random commenter. We're going to give them $1,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
Might be Monopoly money,
but we will give you $1,000.
It'll be worth $1,000 in some context. Yeah. So, let us know. Let us know and find out.
Let us know.
Find out.
We really do appreciate you listening and watching, though. And I loved talking to people a couple weeks ago about all your reactions to the podcast. It means a lot. It's great to hear your feedback. And yeah, make us better. We want to hear from you.
We're creating a Critical Mess token on the Solana blockchain. It's called.
Are we for real?
It's called.
Sweet.
Critical token.
Wow.
It's a pump and dump scheme, but
it's going live.
Can we call it Nip Talk?
It's called Nip Talk.
Nip Talk.
That's
Nip
kind of the sub token that we're working on. But yeah, guys, we're pumping a token and Just get at us on that. More to come.
2025.
Big things to come in 2025.
Tokens.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Okay, this has been Critical Mess. This has been episode 48.
Wait. Next episode.
What are we doing?
Guys,
oh, shit. My bad. I saw Ben's finger.
We got too excited.
No!
It was all part of the
guys.
spiel.
My fault.
Part of the spiel. That's all right.
My fault.
It's all right. We are going to do another episode, believe it or not. It will be episode number 49. And we're going to do The Saint. The Saint with Val Kilmer.
Thank God, finally.
Which I saw in the theater.
Oh, good. I did too.
I'm pumped. Pumped to talk about The
I've
Saint.
been promoting and peddling this movie for us to do for 20
it's
episodes.
Been on the list for a long time.
It.
This one's for us.
And you're welcome.
This one is for us. Yes. So yeah, Critical Mess. Brian, Grizz, producer Ben, we're here. We love you, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
See ya.